welcome back to the IMNerd Podcast, guys. This is episode 7, and we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Z.
Rock the Dragon! Dragon Ball Z!
So, Dragon Ball Z, one of the most iconic anime of all time.
Indeed.
You know what? How about, before we get into that, I did want to do a new thing at the start of each episode, because we talk about a lot of cool shit. And one of the podcasts I listen to called The Read, at the start of each episode, they do this thing where they say who they are at the beginning of the episode. Okay. So this episode, I'm going to be Perfect Cell.
I'm fucking confused. That's what I am.
You just kind of say someone from the, like, whatever the topic of the day is going to be. Like, yeah. So we're going to talk about Dragon Ball Z here. So we would just say, you could be Gohan or anything. It doesn't even fucking matter. Just, who do you want to be? Like, for example, in a Demon Slayer episode, I would have said I'm Zenitsu.
Well, I'm a Superman. If you don't know who Superman is,
I don't know who Superman is. Is this a Dragon Ball Z character?
It is.
I don't know what's going on now.
Here, I'm gonna link them to you.
Now I'm scared.
I'm gonna link them to you. This is
Are you seeing him on Discord?
No. You know what? I'm gonna just put them on my camera and you'll see them. That's
okay.
What I'm gonna do.
I had a question about your background now. Interestingly enough.
Well, all that will come in time.
Okay.
All right. It's just.
Oh, you can just put the picture on top of. Who the fuck is that?
All right, so if you're curious about who Superman is, in the original Dragon Ball, there's a chapter where Kid Goku ends up in a new city. He's going around and there's a crime that happens. And this guy runs out of an office building and he goes into a phone booth and he changes his clothes and he comes out dressed like that and he lays on a skateboard and he fucking rides on the skateboard and fucking... and acts like he's flying by riding on the skateboard through the town. Oh my god! So I'm Superman.
He's shaped like a One Piece character. He looks ridiculous. He looks absolutely ridiculous.
A little bit of original Dragon Ball.
So Akira Toriyama made this parody of Superman. It looks like.
Yeah. So if you so if you're listening and you want to know, just type in SUPPAMAN. It should be the first result. And
I've never seen this character in my life.
Type in Dragon Ball after it.
Never seen this character.
My favorite Dragon Ball character, Superman.
Well, this already got out of hand really quickly. I was going to ask about your background. So we have backgrounds up, and we will be doing video that you guys can see. They'll be Patreon exclusive. So that'll be coming soon, our Patreon. In the meantime, though, Kenny's background has some Dragon Ball fighters up, and it looks like it says attention connection has been lost. Now you could have found a photo without that in the middle. So why is connection has been lost in the middle of your background?
So on Dragon Ball Fighters, the last DLC character they added is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
Yep.
And he has a taunt. He's the only character in the game with a taunt. And when he taunts, he puts his finger up and he's like, hey, come here. And he says, random shit, like it only takes one finger to beat you and stuff like that. So if he does that 7 times, right? If he does that move 7 times and then hits you with his level 3 is a 1-hit kill. Like no matter how much health you have, no matter what, it's a 1-hit kill.
Right.
So
people quit. People rage quit.
So people rage quit.
I love it. I love anything that makes people rage quit.
So Gogeta just has a 1-hit kill. And it's disrespectful because in order to 1-hit kill somebody, you have to also taunt them 7 times. Yeah. So you taunt them 7 times and then 1-hit kill them and then they rage quit.
Do you know the frame data behind taunting?
It's actually fucking crazy fast.
Oh, that's not okay.
Crazy fast.
Wow.
And you can cancel it with Vanish. Vanish is just an input that costs 1 bar and you appear behind the opponent and kick them, and they can block it. It's like
right. It's punishable. Right.
But if you're sitting there taunting and then they're pressing a button to try to get you and you vanish out, it's pretty fucked up.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, that's the introduction for episode 7, and it's kind of cool that this is episode 7 and we're doing Dragon Ball Z because 7 Dragon Balls. I kind of like how that came together, and it wasn't even planned. I just randomly said, you know what? Let's do Dragon Ball Z for the next episode.
That's right.
Again, one of the most iconic series ever, right? Akira Toriyama is one of the GOATs of just manga and anime. He paved the way for so many things. Almost every shonen, almost every anime that you see with, I feel like crazy fights these days has in some way been inspired by Dragon Ball Z in one way or another.
Yeah. Before DBZ, I don't really think the whole screaming and powering up thing really happened. people made noise like Kenshiro and Fist of the North Star would like,
Yeah.
but they didn't really like power up the way a lot of characters now.
Yeah. I don't really know many other things that have power scaling on the level of DBZ. It is when people get into debates about DBZ characters versus Naruto characters and Bleach characters and even One Piece characters and shit like that. I always think to myself, Dragon Ball Z characters, I remember early on in Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo literally, to stop Gohan from being in his ape form, just casually destroyed the moon. Like casually.
Yeah, he just points at it.
He casually destroyed the moon.
A point of reference for that is Master Roshi destroyed the moon in Dragon Ball.
And he's a human, right? Like he's an actual human.
In volume 3, I don't remember the exact chapter, but I know what volume it's in because I used to read Dragon Ball like twice a year when I was in school.
Oh, we got a tough ass over here, guys.
We got what the fuck? Whoa.
He's talking us what volume it came out of. All right.
Well, no, because it's funny because I know
you're a Dragon Ball historian.
My one friend fucking used to make fun of me all the time because like anytime somebody would talk about an anime they watched, like, oh yeah, I read the manga. Like, oh yeah, you read the manga? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I bet you did.
I hate those people. I hate the pretentious manga readers.
But I don't mean to do that. I'm just like, oh yeah. Like I know about that. I read the manga for
that's
that.
fine.
But then
you're an asshole.
Like,
it's okay.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm an asshole.
So in volume 3.
But I'm pretty sure volume 3 is when the tournament starts. It's the very first. Is what creates tournament arcs for the rest of history. Akira Toriyama in Dragon Ball does the first tournament arc of all of DBZ, and that kind of like sets the pace for a lot of arcs in the future and just a lot of anime in general.
Yeah, I feel like everything. Hunter x Hunter has a tournament in the very beginning. Naruto has a tournament to decide if you become a Chunin. Like Chunin exam essentially is a tournament. I mean, there's tournaments in pretty much every mainstream shonen that you can think of.
One Piece took a while. It took them a little while, but One Piece eventually got their tournament.
They got there, yeah.
But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's volume 3. If not, it's in volume 4. But Goku versus Master Roshi is the final round of the tournament. Master Roshi's in disguise as Jackie Chun, and they fight. During the fight, the fight takes so long. They fight during the day. It takes so long that it ends up being the middle of the night. The moon comes out. Goku turns into a great ape, an Uzaru, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then Master Roshi uses the Kamehameha to destroy the moon.
Just casually.
Mid-tournament.
Yeah. And it makes it to the moon in no time.
And it makes it to the moon. And then they just continue their fight. They're like, all right. Like
that happened.
Back to the rumble.
No disasters abound. The ocean's not about to flood the earth or anything like that. Like everything's fine.
So yeah, when the power scaling is ridiculous in DBZ, but there's two sides of it. There's some people that think Goku can beat any character you ever mention. Like if you name a character, they'll say Goku could beat him. And that's ridiculous. Yeah. But on the other end, there's people that think like I love Naruto. I like Bleach. I like fucking Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter. One Piece. One Piece is one of my absolute favorites of all time. It's like my number one. But like, there's not a character in One Piece that could fucking just blink at the moon. Like Master Roshi destroyed the moon. Like it's not. Like and
One Piece has some great feats. Like all of these shonens have amazing power feats. I think they say in One Piece that Whitebeard can like essentially destroy the earth by using his quake fruit. You know, he can flood the earth. Essentially, he can cause a tidal wave of some sort that would just wipe out everything. The power scaling in a way is there. It's just not on the same level as point at the moon is gone. I believe the Earth has been destroyed before in both the movie, the one movie where it got destroyed by Frieza really quickly, and then like Weiss or whatever rewinds time and essentially puts the Earth back together. But it took a being over God level to reverse that.
Not only that, I mean, Kid Buu casually destroyed the Earth. Vegeta was going to destroy the Earth.
Cell.
And some people, Cell was going to destroy the Earth. Some people claim, because we didn't see Vegeta destroy the Earth, but it's like, well, of course we didn't, because like Goku stopped them. But some people claim like Vegeta wouldn't have been able to destroy the Earth. My thing is,
why not?
Vegeta is a million times stronger than Roshi. Like I don't know. Roshi casually destroyed the moon.
I'll just say this: in early Dragon Ball Z, when Nappa and Vegeta are on their way to Earth, they stop by planets, and at one point, they just casually destroy a planet of, I think it's like insects or something like that.
Yeah. That's technically filler. It's not in the manga, but
okay, all right. Yeah. It's filler. Okay, I won't I won't push the filler on you guys, but I was about to say, I remember blatantly seeing
That does
Vegeta
happen in the anime.
in the anime, because I was a kid, so the whole manga versus anime thing didn't really matter as much when you're just watching Toonami and you're like 7.
Yeah.
But I do remember him casually destroying planets on the way to Earth, and I'm just thinking to myself, holy shit, these guys are ridiculous. And they were.
Yeah. But I mean, he can, it's like in the lore, it's stated,
there's no
like,
doubt.
They would send Saiyans to the planet. The Saiyans were Frieza's main muscle in Frieza's army. They would send 2 Saiyans to a planet to wipe the planet out.
So like, Invincible. So you're just telling me this is the plot of Invincible, where they send. Have you seen Invincible?
Not yet. I was going to get on that after the Marvel movies, but before that, I'm going to watch JJK.
All right,
so.
You
I got a little lineup.
I got you. All right, well, we won't do that. So let's pivot into, I guess.
But also, just side note, Frieza before Dragon Ball Z started destroyed Planet Vegeta. So
yes, I mean,
like, canonically in the story, first form Frieza pointed at Planet Vegeta and blew it up.
Yes, and is Piccolo destroying the moon to stop Gohan? Is that canon too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's canon. So there we go. I mean, anyway, so let's go into how did we get into it. I think we talked about this a bit in episode 1 of the podcast, but let's kind of let people know how we actually started with Dragon Ball Z, because I know for me it was Toonami. I'm pretty sure it might have been for you, but maybe
100% Toonami.
Actually,
maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking this too. There was a Japanese channel, like a channel that used to show anime in a different language, and I randomly stumbled across it one day and saw Dragon Ball Z. I didn't know what it was, but I saw Dragon Ball Z. The voices were really high pitched. Everything sounded really strange. And I just kind of like watched it without knowing what the hell I was watching. And then, of course, I found out about the real version through my best friend, who was like, your favorite character is going to be Piccolo, or like, you're going to be Piccolo. And he was, I think, Vegeta or something like that. I forget. But I just remember being assigned Piccolo.
I can't remember what was first between Toonami and it coming on at fucking 4 a.m. I know.
Where did it come on 4 a.m?
I can't remember the channel, but I want to say probably Cartoon Network or something. Because
was it in English?
Yeah. I remember I would wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and it would be Dragon Ball Z and then Pokemon would come on. And my uncle, who lived with me at the time, would like watch it with me. But Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon came on at like 4 or 5 a.m. I can't remember if that was before or after Toonami. It was probably after Toonami. So if that's the case, then Toonami was definitely where I started. Yeah. But that said, I do know what you're talking about with the other channel. But that happened afterwards. At some point, we were quote unquote borrowing cable from our neighbor. And I was flipping through the channels one day. But at this point, I already knew about DBZ, but I saw DBZ on, and it wasn't even in Japanese. It was like in Italian.
Okay.
And, and it was during the Cell arc. I remember they were in the hyperbolic time chamber. And
that's the other thing. It was further than the English version was.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, what part of the show is this where they have gold hair and shit like that? I didn't know what I was actually seeing. And now, going back and looking at it, like, oh, okay, it was much further than the English, because you remember the English version used to start over all the fucking time.
Yeah, it did. And that never stopped, man. They used to all the way up into the Boo arc. Like, I watched Vegeta blow himself up at least 30 times.
I know. And not even just that. It started earlier than that, too. With the Namek arc. The Namek arc, I've watched probably a million times as a kid because it just kept starting over. It would get to a point where Goku would change bodies with Captain Ginyu, and it would just, the next episode wouldn't happen. It would just be Raditz again. Like, Raditz is your villain again. Damn. And I'm like, God, and they don't give you a warning. Back then, they didn't give you a warning. Nah. You just kind of tuned in at 5 p.m. You're sitting there, and next thing you know, you see fucking Raditz versus Piccolo and Goku, and you're like, God damn it.
Toonami Tom did not give you a warning. He's like, hey there, Space Cowboy.
Very rude. Very, very rude shit. But yeah, I got into it through my best friend, who pretty much was like, you're going to be Piccolo, which I actually ended up liking anyway, because Piccolo was in the show a lot in the beginning, like training Gohan, and he's one of the first main characters to die too. Like, he dies to.
It's actually a huge moment. Not that you would have known this back then because you were a kid and you just started with DBZ.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that DBZ, the big anime that we have, they fucking gave it to us in the middle of DBZ is the middle of the story.
It is.
They were like, all that Dragon Ball, whatever.
And I hadn't seen Dragon Ball either.
Piccolo's storyline from Dragon Ball to DBZ, like that moment when he dies. I mean, it's impactful if you just saw DBZ, but if you watched all Dragon Ball, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and it didn't mean much to me when he died when I was a kid seeing it, because again, that's like the first couple episodes, right? It's really early. Like he dies pretty early on against Raditz.
It's pretty early. It's not. I don't think it's like the first couple episodes, but it's pretty. It's when Nappa is about to kill Gohan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm completely reversing this. Goku dies in the beginning.
Goku dies in the beginning.
From special being canon. I got my shit all fucked up. So you see Goku die really early on from Special Beam Cannon, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever when I was a child. Seeing Special Beam Cannon fire, I used to put my 2 fingers on my forehead all the time. I just copied everything I saw from the show. That's how iconic it was. But seeing him do that and literally kill Raditz and kill Goku at the same time, that's probably like one of my earliest memories. And then seeing Piccolo train Gohan, essentially being his dad, all the memes that came from like Goku being a bad father, and Piccolo being like Gohan's real dad. I used to even say it myself, him training really hard knocks life on Gohan, putting him in the wilderness and with dinosaurs and shit. Gohan's out here cutting dinosaur tails and cooking them.
Hey man, it's his birthright.
I love
Gohan's mom got him being a bitch. All right.
Yeah, that kind of is what ruined.
If it was up to Goku, Piccolo wouldn't have needed to do all that shit. That's how Goku grew up. Goku grew up in the wilderness.
Yeah. No, he tried to put him in quote the natural habitat that he knew Goku to grow up in, and became very strong growing up in that way.
In the first chapter of the manga, Goku is ass naked and he dips his tail in like a lake and he's fishing. He's like fishing with his own tail, dipping his tail in the lake, just ass naked. And a big ass fish comes out and he fucking tricks him, and then Goku just walks home with a fat ass fish with his balls swinging. You know what I mean?
Gosh. Like, this is Dragonball? Yeah.
The original Dragonball. Dude, it's so funny because like he really was. You can't put this in manga anymore, but it's the same Shonen Jump. But back then, like he really did draw Goku completely naked. Like, I don't know. It's really funny.
Yeah. So early on in the series, you get a lot of Piccolo. I didn't mind him being assigned to me as like, this is who you are. Because that's just how we were back in the day. Like, you're this character in the show and I'm this character in the show. So I didn't mind being assigned Piccolo because he was cool as shit in the beginning.
Yeah.
He's the first character that you really see with a really, really powerful special move. And on top of that, like it kills the main character essentially. So it has to be really, really strong. And then he has this cool ass outfit. I loved Piccolo's outfit. I used to draw
Piccolo's outfit is sick.
I mean, they wore it for a while too. Like Gohan wore that outfit when he fought Cell, right? Like, doesn't he still have that on?
Yeah. Gohan wears a variation of Piccolo's outfit throughout like all of the Frieza arc.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the Cell arc. Gohan doesn't wear his dad's outfit until he's an adult.
Yeah, I really love, like, oh man, the Cell saga when Gohan has on the Piccolo outfit, like the purple colors. Oh, he's just gone off. He just looks so cool.
That arc is fucking dope.
Yeah.
There's some shit that happens in that arc that there's some stuff where the whole argument, like Goku being a bad dad and Piccolo being Gohan's dad, because Goku and Cell go at it. They go to fuck at it.
And I'll never forget that. And then it was like, then Goku gave him a sensu bean, and it was like
Goku's just like, all right, I'm done. And then
they were like, that was
Gohan,
a warm up.
Yeah. And then he's like, Gohan will do it. And Cell's like, Goku, you can't be serious.
Yeah, I love the Cell voice. This is why I chose Perfect Cell as who I am.
But everybody's just like, Goku, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, don't worry, guys. Gohan's got it. Trust me. And then he gives Cell the sensu bean.
Yep. And everyone is blown away. They're like,
Piccolo's like, Goku,
way.
You are a fucking idiot. Like, and then when they're fighting and like Gohan's kind of getting worked, there's a point where Piccolo says to Goku, he's like, I understand you think your son is really strong. And like, he is. So you have to understand that he's not you. Like, he doesn't love battle. Like, look at him. He's being tortured. Yeah. So I think this is the point where Cell has Gohan like hugged up and he's like breaking his back. He's like doing the bear hug backbreaker. Yeah. And Gohan's like crying. And Piccolo's like, your son isn't you, dude. Like, you're fucking nuts.
Oh my gosh. I love that whole arc. So even before that, how Cell got to be perfect, Vegeta letting it happen essentially.
Yeah. That's Vegeta, the Saiyan arrogance. The
Saiyan arrogance, Saiyan pride, letting him literally power up and absorb the androids. And, Cell doing, I believe at one point he does a solar flare. He captures some androids that way. He becomes Perfect Cell. And when he becomes Perfect Cell, one of the coolest things to me is that he was just staring at his hands, his own hands. He like when he finally becomes Perfect Cell, he's just staring at himself, and everyone is thinking, okay, we're going to attack him. So they start attacking him. Like they literally start.
It's like Krillin, Trunks, and he's standing there looking at his hands
while
and
they're
Krillin's like
attacking
kicking
him.
the back of his neck and
They're
shit.
doing that Dragon Ball Z, the most iconic fighting thing that they do in Dragon Ball Z, where it's repeated animation over and over and over again.
And the fast punches,
punching and kicking, and Cell's just staring at himself the whole time and literally admiring how quote unquote perfect he is. And I don't know, something about that. When he finally goes on the offensive and he looks at Krillin and he kind of does like this weird teleportation looking thing where he goes left, right, right, and he kicks the shit out of him. And that one kick puts Krillin down, like he damn near dies from that kick.
Dude, Krillin tries to hit him with a Destructo disc and he just cracks his neck on it.
Yeah, it just
like
does not.
He's just like, nah.
And that shit worked on Frieza. It actually cut Frieza.
It worked on Frieza.
It did not do anything to Cell. Cell was like, I am not even close to being affected by something that low level. Like that is just child. And I like that they did that. They showed us there's levels between Cell and Frieza. This is not that. Like you got off with that against Frieza. You will not get off with that against Cell. So
he
good.
Cracked his neck on it. Then the final flash, Cell just takes the final flash to the face.
And it destroys like half, like a good chunk, not half, but like 40% of his body. And he's acting like he's, he does the whole acting thing where he's like, and then he regenerates, and it's just Vegeta's just absolutely terrified. Like absolutely terrified.
They show that shit too. They show the final flash, like they zoom out, they show it blow like off the earth, like go off in through the atmosphere,
which it did in Budokai. In Budokai 2, they started doing that.
They show that shit. Oh man, that is such a sick ass scene.
I remember that. I just remember when he first became Perfect Cell, Vegeta thinking, okay, this is what I wanted. This is the challenge I wanted. And it just was not what he wanted at all.
It is not what he wanted.
It was not what he wanted. And I believe, so I know Vegeta fights Perfect Cell. And
real quick. Oh, my bad. Just finish your thought.
Vegeta fights Perfect Cell and it doesn't go too well. And I think Trunks does as well. They do that bulk up thing that they learned in the hyperbolic time chamber. Yep. They bulk up, and then Cell's like, you are powerful, but
he says like you're stronger than your dad.
Yes.
He's like, but I know why your dad didn't do that. Like,
yes. And then he goes into speed mode and Trunks can't tag him anymore.
Not at all.
And then you're reminded that he basically has Frieza's speed.
Yeah. Trunks bulks up and Cell's just like, yeah, no, that's not real.
Yeah, that's not. And even Goku said to Gohan, like, I can do that too. And he just shows Gohan, I can just make myself huge, and he fucking bulks up so big. Like he becomes Brawly Goku. It's one of the scariest things I've ever seen. Goku becoming Brawly essentially, and Gohan's like, he's like, well, we don't do that. We want our power to be condensed. We want to still remain mobile and fast, and we prioritize. With
Trunks, he was young, hot-headed. What I was going to say is, people give Vegeta a lot of shit for the whole letting Cell get to perfect form and power up and stuff, but that's just a common. It is. It's the Saiyan arrogance. Like everybody's like blah blah blah.
Goku did
the same thing on Frieza.
Yeah, literally let this man go to 100%.
Everybody, King Kai, they were like, Goku, not let him power up.
Slow your fucking roll.
And Goku's like, no, I want him to know that he's not the strongest in the universe. I don't want, when he's dead. Goku says, like, literally, when he's dead, I want him to know he wasn't the strongest. Yeah. Like,
I choose violence.
Like Goku chose fucking violence. I want him to know.
Frieza was like, you know what? You might be able to beat me, but I'm only at 1%. And your victory will not be a real one if you beat me this way. And Goku was like, you call me pussy, fam?
You call me pussy?
You saying I'm pussy? And so Goku was like, oh yeah, power up.
The difference is Goku was able to, finish the job. But
don't do it. It's okay, hold on. Let's do this part. Who's your favorite character in Dragon Ball Z? And like, if you had multiple at one point, maybe your first favorite character was somebody else, and then it became, whoever it is now. That's fine. Like my first favorite character was Piccolo technically, and then it became Cell at like towards the end. And then when I look back at Dragon Ball Z, when I was a much older teenager, I idolized Goku. Goku became, to me, just my favorite character after I really started to go back and watch it as an adult with like adult eyes and stuff. I was like, you know what? I really fuck with Goku. But anyway, who's your favorite characters in Dragon Ball Z?
So I guess it can't be Superman.
I mean, if you want to stick to Superman, but I feel like it can't.
Nah. My somewhat similar through most of my life. My favorite character is Vegeta, and because for whatever reason, I always liked the number 2 guy. Like I liked Luigi more than Mario.
Same.
Like I always fucked with the number 2 guy. I don't know why.
I guess I'm the same way too. I like Sasuke. I like Killua.
Yeah, Killua was really.
I tend to not like the main character. Yeah, or like not like them as much as I like the number 2 guy, if you want to call it that.
So similar to you though, when I got older, but this isn't. I wouldn't say when I was a teenager. I would say more so like 20s. Okay. I realized like legitimately Goku. I think Goku's my favorite character.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was I've read Dragon Ball a million times. I've watched it a bunch, but like I was just going through it. And it kind of just clicked. Like Goku's not. The English dub took a lot of liberties with the script.
Yeah,
Goku's not the hope of the universe. Like that's not.
Ally to good, nightmare to you.
Like he doesn't do all that. Goku really is just about like rumbling. Like he's not a hero. Like he happens to fight the bad guys, but that's because Goku just wants to fight. Like he even says it in one of the most recent chapters of Dragon Ball Super. But I realized this and thought this way before that. But he even says it in a recent episode of Dragon Ball Super to kind of call attention to it. He's not a hero. He's not trying to defend the universe. He just wants to fight whoever the strongest guy is. And he says it just so happens the strongest guys are always bad guys.
Yes.
So, but that's not why I fight them.
But not to downplay it either, though, because people who come for his family and friends, he will fuck you up.
Oh, yeah.
So let's not get it twisted. Like, and I know you're not saying that he that's not him, because that is him, right? Like we all agree that at the end of the day, you come for any of his family or friends and Goku will turn the fuck up on you and you can be as weak as you want to be. He's going to turn up on you. And
unless you're Perfect Cell and he fucking throws Gohan at him.
Yeah. And then in which case all bets are off because I want to see my son get bodied.
But no, if you put your hands on, because that's the thing, Goku, he's not an idiot. I know people like saying he's an idiot. He's just not. He's not a school learned person, but he's
he's not educated. So in the conventional sense of
he didn't go through, instead of saying educated, I said he ain't got school learned. Like,
he didn't go through the Earth school system and learn, all of the math and science and shit that we did. But when it comes to being a Saiyan and just battle strategy, he's a god. Like he is a battle god.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. And also I just like he has common sense. Like he doesn't know, different little shit, but he just has normal common sense. Like he's
okay, to a degree.
Damn.
I'm going to slightly disagree because I remember him slapping the shit out of Chi-Chi and her flying through a couple trees. And I was like, damn, Goku. Like he just kind of casually slapped his wife. Oh man, like it wasn't on purpose, but he didn't power down, I guess. And he touched her and she went fucking flying. But humans are adorable in the Dragon Ball world, so it's not she didn't die.
They are adorable. They are.
But yeah, Goku. I admire Goku a lot when I look back on it, and I'm talking like 17. I'm in college at this point, like 17, 18, late teenage years, adult thinking. Just going back and seeing what he was to the Earth and how he carried himself, even though I used to also call him really stupid because, again, he's not educated. At the same time, though, I love how powerful he is and how he's just willing to fuck people up even at their best. And I kind of adopted some of that in my competitive nature. I wanted to play people at their best and all of that, like in Yu-Gi-Oh and things like that was a thing for me. I want you to be at your best when I beat you. If you didn't have 3 of a card that you needed, I would ask somebody to lend you a copy, or I would tell you to proxy it because I don't want to play you when your deck is not complete. I will literally make you get the other card you need or whatever.
I respect that. And even to a fault. This is kind of off topic, but similar to you making an allusion to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Melee, the whole idea of a homie stock and Smash in general. And I know I know there's some people that really hate homie stocks.
So explain what a homie stock is for people.
So a homie stock in Smash Bros, more specifically Melee, I don't think they happen as much in the other games. It's when it's a really gray area, but it's when if you and me are playing and you accidentally kill yourself. So I jump. So you jump off, you fall off the edge somehow accidentally. I'll jump off the edge as well to even the stocks up. Yeah. There's some people that absolutely, and it's usually if you're at really low percent, like 0 or 20%, if you're 100% and kill yourself, that's the game. You were dead anyway. Yeah. But if you're really low percent and you fall off and then I'll jump off and it's called a homie stock. There's some people that absolutely hate that and they think it's disrespectful and rude. But I think only non-homies think that way. Only non-homies will think that it's disrespectful. If you're a homie, you realize that you're just trying to have fun and you want the game to be on the right.
Right.
If we start the game and you die in the first 2 seconds, like I'll just jump off because I want us to play on an even playing field.
I get that, and it's fine if your friend tells you, yo, if that happens, just let me suffer the consequence of it. Let me learn from that experience where I fucked up. Maybe I did Falco side B off the stage, because that happens in Melee a lot when you're trying to show how double laser. You might accidentally side B off the stage with Falco and die.
For sure.
You might air dodge off the stage and die. And if they don't want you to go and kill yourself just to even up the stocks, I get it. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, then they should be better.
They should be better though. But anyway,
but anyway, going back.
Yeah, we both look up to Goku in certain ways, and he's fucking iconic. Every time I think about Akira Toriyama, right? Like one of the greatest manga writers, greatest anime producers, or whatever you want to call it. He's just an insane guy. Like, I don't know how else to. He is the god of anime and manga in a way, just for making Dragon Ball Z and the whole Dragon Ball series, really.
What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of our favorite manga or anime that we grew up with, like Naruto, let's just say.
Yep.
Kishimoto has Naruto. He doesn't really have. He tried something after Naruto. I don't think
Samurai
it did anything.
7, and it went south. And then it was back on Boruto.
Ichigo had a bunch of stuff. Not Ichigo. I just called the writer of Bleach Ichigo, by the way.
Tight Kubo?
Tight Kubo is what I meant to say. To be fair, Ichigo is the writer of Bleach.
Yo, you're not even wrong. Ichigo is everything. He's fucking Quincy the writer, a Shinigami, a human.
But Kubo didn't really have any big hits before Bleach. And if I remember correctly, Akira Toriyama actually wrote in, I don't remember the exact sequence of the story, but somebody can look it up. But Tite Kubo tried to get Bleach accepted in the Shonen Jump for a couple times, and it didn't get accepted. But then I think he showed it to Akira Toriyama, and Akira Toriyama essentially gave like a letter of recommendation, like, hey, this is pretty cool. Part of the reason why Bleach got in the Shonen Jump, I think, if I remember the story correctly, is because of Akira Toriyama.
That's insane. I love Bleach too. But
the point that I was getting to is before Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama had a successful hit in Japan with Dr. Slump. Big successful hit. And so Dragon Ball was his sophomore outing and was even bigger than his freshman outing, which is extremely rare.
Yeah, it is rare that happens. You have two things. Like One Punch Man, the guy who does that also has Mob Psycho 100, I believe.
Yep.
And the guy who does Yu Yu Hakusho also has Hunter x Hunter.
Yep.
So that is very rare.
That's rare. We named a couple effortlessly, but now think of some more.
This is the IMNerd Podcast. So we're fucking nerds. We don't always get it right, guys. So don't get mad at us when we misstate some things, because at the end of the day, our memory, we're going off of memory here. We don't pull up the Googles all the time, but we are nerds at the end of the day. So a lot of this shit, we could just say off the top of the dome.
But he had a successful Dr. Slump, and that was pretty damn huge in Japan.
Yes.
Then there was Dragon Ball, and
which was really huge.
You know what Dragon Ball became.
And then Dragon Ball Z is in the West, one of the biggest things to ever happen as far. I mean, it kind of that we always say like that Sailor Moon, the whole thing. Really pioneered anime in the West.
To go back real quick, I want to hone in on the moment I realized Goku was my favorite character.
Okay.
Because I have the moment down, and it was in the end of original Dragon Ball. This is like my fucking 15th reread of original Dragon Ball, and I always like this moment. But anyway, Goku throughout all of Dragon Ball, there's like 3 tournaments, and he doesn't win any of them. He loses the very first tournament to Jackie Chan, who was actually Master Roshi.
And a parody of Jackie Chan, clearly.
Yeah. He loses to Tien in the next tournament, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that was the next tournament. He loses to Tien, and then the next tournament is I think the next tournament gets cut short. The next tournament he goes to, and if I remember, I think Krillin dies by one of Piccolo's minions, and then that tournament gets cut short, and I think he leaves that tournament. But then finally, the final tournament of Dragon Ball, he fights Piccolo Jr., which is our current day Piccolo, in the finals of the tournament. He'd lost every tournament before this, and I said the word tournament a lot. But he lost every tournament before this. They're fighting, and the fight gets crazy. And it gets to the point where Piccolo's threatening the lives of people, and they're still fighting. And then the whole stage gets destroyed. The ring is completely destroyed. They're just fighting on the dirt. The fight's all happening. And then at some point, somebody realizes, wait a minute, Goku hasn't left the bounds of where the ring was.
Oh, shit.
And toward basically like the end of the fight, all this shit happens. And then Goku like knocks They have like a clash, and Piccolo gets knocked away. Piccolo lands on the ground. Goku lands on the ground, and then they're like, "Oh my god, like is he dead?" But then Goku's like, "Where is Piccolo?" He wants to verify where he's at, and when they verify that Piccolo was outside of the confines in the ring, Goku's like, "Yes, I did it!" Like Goku is like, "I won the tournament." Like the whole time, people are like, "He's fighting for the Earth right now. He needs to save the Earth. He needs to beat Piccolo." But the whole time, Goku's like, "I've never won a tournament," and he fought Piccolo, but did the whole thing within the confines of where the ring's not even there anymore.
Yes.
They stayed where the ring used to be. And like something about that moment meant so much to me. It was like Goku won the tournament and he beat Piccolo all at the same.
That's really
I don't know.
Cool.
It was like such a cool fucking moment, man. It was such a beautiful moment.
Yeah,
I liked it so much.
So yeah, I mean, Akira Toriyama has huge impact. Naruto, for example, look at Naruto's colors. Like literally look at Naruto and look at Goku and tell me you don't see similarities. Then look at Sasuke and look at Vegeta and tell me you don't see similarities. They're very, very similar. Down not only just the colors, but I mean
personalities.
The personality. I feel like Vegeta is the blueprint for a lot of the secondary character. The secondary character is always the edgy one, who's like I'm more quiet and more calculated, more angry, more brooding type. So you get your Killuas, you get your Sasuke's, like just a lot of the secondary characters tend to follow that blueprint. And this is consistent for so many shonens, even right now. Jujutsu Kaisen has the same type of thing. I feel like Demon Slayer in a way has that type of thing going on. There's always that character who wants to beat the main character really bad, which Inosuke is that in Demon Slayer. He constantly thinks that Tanjiro is his competition.
Tanjiro doesn't even think about him.
And Goku kinda treats Vegeta the same way, low key. Like he just kinda doesn't really acknowledge the fact that Vegeta is literally training all the time to be stronger than him. He's just like, yeah, that's fine, I guess. But yeah, Vegeta and Goku are the blueprint for a lot of shonens that came after Dragon Ball, and you can see this all throughout. I love that. I love that so many of the manga writers today are inspired by Akira Toriyama's work. And
many of them, they all talk about it too. Like, I think there's a piece of writing from Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, where he talks about reading Dragon Ball and being in school. Like he talks about being in school, I think, because Dragon Ball came out in the 80s. One Piece came out in like 96, I think. I think One Piece started in like 96.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And when Dragon Ball came out, it was, I think, mid to late 80s, maybe. So Oda might have been in high school.
Wow. So literally a shonen like a kid. That's actually cool as hell. Imagine having been on the cusp of when this is happening. Like this is some life-changing, some really world-changing shit happening. And you are one of the first people to get to actually enjoy this art.
Yeah, it's great because we all think of Dragon Ball as 90s kids, but at least in Japan, like it was an 80s kids thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We weren't really around in the 80s, but in the 90s, that was the first thing for us. And I think like it was ahead of its time. Dragon Ball Z is definitely, I guess the Dragon Ball series really is ahead of its time too, especially anime.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the ahead of its time moniker. It's weird because I agree with you. It's ahead of its time, or was it like right on time? It's because basically what I think you're saying is that Dragon Ball Z happened and then it changed the shape of anime. It did.
And I think that something being ahead of its time, that usually causes that to happen. When you push the envelope so much, it then creates a world where people say, wow, this is what can be done. And so that becomes the new standard.
Yep.
And if he only did what was already available, the standard, as you will, then things might not have gotten to the point where they are right now. Or, I mean, eventually they would, but slower.
Imagine if Naruto was like a magical girl anime with Sailor Moon inspirations instead. Holy shit.
If there was no Dragon Ball Z, Naruto would have been about only female ninjas or something like that. Or
Sakura would have been, oh shit.
Sakura would have actually been less.
Sakura would have been hot.
She would have been neglected, and 1010 wouldn't have been discarded and Shippuden completely. I don't think she has more than like 3 lines in the entire fucking manga.
She's not even in Boruto.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen so far.
The side characters are just really not taken care of at all anymore. But we'll get to that in our Naruto episode. Anyways, let's switch gears. So let's talk about some iconic moments of Dragon Ball Z. Like the first time
Okay.
Goku goes Super Saiyan,
We talked about a couple of them, and first time going Super Saiyan, I had that VHS tape, and I might have watched that VHS tape
a million times.
I don't think it worked. I'm pretty sure I broke the tape. Like I'm pretty sure I broke the tape.
Yeah, because
like
VHS tapes were fragile as hell. If your
Yeah.
VCR caught the fucking vinyl shit, it would just destroy it.
I watched it so many times the tape didn't work, and like him go when he's sitting there and he's like, and he's like fucking pulsing.
So
and
I
shit.
watched that scene again as an adult, like kind of recently, and it was much faster. When I was a kid, that scene was 30 minutes long in my head. In my mind, that scene, the nostalgia of my mind, that scene lasted. Goku powered up for what seemed like an actual half of the episode.
I think it's just because like the tension. You're sitting there and you're just fucking
the
watching it.
And the background.
Thunder striking, yo.
And the music too. And also, I love that when he's going Super Saiyan, there's quick flashes of him being Super Saiyan, and then he goes back.
Yes.
And he's saying, like, I won't let you get away with this. And he's just like, his head is like jerking back, and he just slowly becomes, that's such a fucking. So I didn't have a VHS tape, but what I was worse. I learned from my grandfather how to record things on VHS tapes, on blank tapes.
Yep.
Or even worse than that, I used to record over VHS tapes of shit that my grandma had that was like a movie that she wanted to. I would record over her shit. She would go in and play like something like Harlem Nights. And when she would put it in, it would be fucking Goku powering up. And
that's so top tier.
She'd be so sick. It's
so
like,
top tier.
It would be like it would be the Toonami start, and then it would immediately go into the episode where Goku's like powering up or whatever. That was the beginning of me learning how to use a VCR and recording all the iconic moments. As soon as I knew, like, oh shit, something crazy about to happen, I would pop a tape in and click record and just wait. I watched it over and over and over again.
Goku going Super Saiyan was, because, oh man,
that's
Krillin died, like it hit so hard.
Krillin dying hurt me too. I was fucked up. Even to this day, anime like shonens, they don't really kill characters too much.
Not at all.
That's just not really a thing. That's
and like
often,
you could argue that it's easier to kill characters from Dragon Ball because they have a way to bring them back.
They can be brought back.
But
yes.
Even that, they still created, like nowadays in Dragon Ball Super, there's no weight to dying because like we'd know the rhythm now, but back then the rhythm wasn't there yet. So you could still feel the weight of the death. Yeah, that you definitely felt it at the end of the day. And there was rules. It was like you can't make the same wish twice. Yeah, so if the person kept dying, potentially they could be screwed over. Yeah. Right? You can only be brought back a certain number of times, I think, or something like that. Yeah, if I remember, it was just like they couldn't bring you back to life twice with the same Dragon Balls, but then like they introduced like the Namek Dragon Balls, and like that was a workaround. Yeah, that's but at the time, like you don't, anyway. Yeah. But so Krillin dies, which is another iconic moment because Frieza is pissed after the Spirit Bomb, right? Yeah. The name of that episode, by the way, is called Spirit Bomb Successful or something like that. There's like an episode. I remember the names of the episodes were ridiculous. Like there's an episode called like Spirit Bomb Successful. I remember one power level over 1 million when he first goes to his second form, like his Frieza's second form when he's huge and has the horns like his dad King Cold. Yep. It's called power level over 1 million. You guys can look that up. I'm pretty sure that's the exact name of the episode because I recorded that shit on VHS too. But anyway, seeing Krillin die, crazy. You've definitely felt it because that had to be 100 episodes in, I feel like, or something close to it. It had to be really. It was deep in, especially in original Dragon Ball before Kai. Yes, this is with filler and everything involved. So you're very deep into Dragon Ball. And there was a lot of episodes you got of just like Krillin and Gohan doing stuff. Yes, like on Namek and going to Namek. So you become very attached to this character, and to see him just fly up in there, he's screaming too. He's like, "Help me, Goku!" Like he's screaming for somebody to help him. Yeah. And then psychic explosion shit that Frieza can do just blew my man up. There was nothing left of him. And Goku lost it. He fucking lost it. And I watched that for the music, the thunderstorm in the background, the lighting, like just the overall epicness of that entire moment stays in my head forever. What's some other iconic moments? Before we go on to the next iconic, this is like, as we talk, shit pops in my head. But when you mentioned recording tapes, right? Recording over tapes. Yeah. I used to get Galaxy Video had Japanese DBZ movies subtitled like long before that there was they were ever coming, like they weren't officially released. They were, somebody got them in Japanese and somebody subtitled them on a VHS tape. Oh wow. I don't fucking know how, but Galaxy Video had these and I remember getting them. I remember getting essentially almost every DBZ movie from Galaxy Video, but I would rent them. Like I didn't buy them. Yeah. And so you would rent a video and then I recorded them on a blank VHS tape and then send them back. So I was just like, I would have like movie. Like I remember getting Triamite and then putting Triamite in, and then I had like a sub thing, and then I would record it into. Like I forget, I think I had like 2 TVs set up, like 2 different.
At one point there were VCRs that had 2 inserts for tapes.
Yeah,
and it was used to dupe tapes. I feel like, because I can't think of another reason why you would need 2 inserts for VHS tapes. My grandfather, who taught me this technique about recording, he had a double VCR thing that he would use to rent things from Blockbuster, like, duplicate it and then take it back. And so I learned that type of thing from him.
Yeah, so we had that shit. But anyway, yeah, I remember doing that. I was get the tapes from Galaxy Video. I don't know how they got them, and then recording them onto a blank tape.
Yeah. So epic moment number 2 for me was when Piccolo absorbed, I think it's Neil or Nail, or how do you say it? Nail. So he absorbs him and he's fighting against Frieza, right? And he starts destroying Frieza. He's like, this is the power of the Namekians. And at this point, there's still no, like, we don't know what Super Saiyan is still, but we're seeing this essentially a Super Namekian, and he's going to fuck off. And it was really cool because Piccolo was kind of discarded for a while. I feel like, there's a gap where Piccolo, he gets killed by Nappa. And there's a gap of him not really being effective for a while. Like he wasn't really effective against the Saiyans that came to Earth. So when he finally got this redemption against Frieza of all people, he was fucking Frieza up. Like it was second form Frieza, I believe, before he went to that long-headed nasty one.
Yeah, before third form.
He was fucking
it's
him
brutal
up
when he goes third form.
Yeah,
that
Frieza
scene
goes third
is
form,
brutal.
and he just starts like sizzling my man. He just starts cooking him. He just starts cooking him.
The point, he's like
taking his clothes off. You see his fucking little bullet holes coming off and shit. He starts messing my man Piccolo up. But Piccolo had a moment, and that moment was like, I recorded that episode as well.
It was
because when Piccolo powered up, do you remember it was like fire looking? It was a red energy that was kind of surrounding his body. It looked cool as shit. One day, just
top of my head, I don't remember.
It was cool as hell. But Frieza was not ready for that because his power level was over 1 million. So I was like, damn, Piccolo's power level has to be over 1 million now, which at the time seemed so ridiculous that something could be that high.
Yeah, at the time, we still thought those numbers meant something.
Yeah, we thought that. Yeah, to this day, we still don't know what Frieza's power, like.
Those numbers get thrown the fuck away. I think final form Frieza's power level, and the only reason why I know this is because of Dragon Ball FighterZ, because it's an achievement. I think final form Frieza's power level is 430 million.
Holy shit. Yeah. So his second form is 1 million, or like over 1 million.
Yeah.
But his final form is 400 and something million.
I believe it's 430 million.
That's not even fair. Holy shit.
Yeah. So final form is OD.
Damn. I know it was bad when he beat Vegeta to death, essentially. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was because of Vegeta. Remember, he thought he was a transcendent Saiyan, and he thought he was a Super Saiyan, right?
Vegeta did the thing where he had somebody damage him, like nearly kill him, and then Dende heal him.
Oh yeah, that was cool as shit.
Yeah, because he knew he would get stronger.
It on Dende. He was like, "You're gonna fucking do this." Yeah, I forgot about that. That's kind of a cool writing thing too, where he was like, "I know how Saiyans work. If I'm close to death, but I don't, the Zarbon effect. Like if I'm close to death, and I come back, Senzu Bean or I guess Dende, whatever the case may be, I'm just naturally stronger. So I'm going to abuse that."
Vegeta really did try to make this shit a JRPG.
He did.
Vegeta looked at this. He was like, "Hold up, I can get faster EXP."
Yeah,
at low health.
Yeah, you could like trip like EXP from borderline dying. Very smart. But yeah, so another iconic moment is Gohan going to fuck off. He goes off a couple times. He goes off against Frieza, second form. He loses it, does the Masenko and all that, like beats the shit out of Frieza for a quick second in his second form, and gives a crazy Masenko. That part's really cool. He just gets really mad out of nowhere. Go ahead.
The part where he hits Raditz, the part where he's in the space pod.
Oh yeah,
and like they're
headbutts him
on Goku. Yeah, and then all of a sudden Raditz starts reading a power level, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And it's coming from the pod.
Yeah,
and then Gohan pops out, and he's like, "Leave my dad alone."
Yeah,
boom, and he like headbutts the shit out of Raditz.
I forgot about that. Damn, I remember now that you said it, but I definitely forgot about that. Him coming out the little pod. I missed the little Saiyan pods.
Yo, the Saiyan pods are.
They have to have gaming chairs designed like Saiyan pods, right? Like somebody made one.
For sure.
I hope so.
I've never seen it, but yeah.
Damn, I have a Game of Thrones chair. You guys can't see it. You guys can't really see it on the podcast, I guess, until we start showing video. But I have a Game of Thrones inspired chair from, where is this from? Oh, Secret Labs. I have a Secret Labs Game of Thrones chair. It is the Targaryen one, but I would love a fucking Saiyan pod designed gaming chair. That would be cool as hell. Or even I'll even settle for Frieza's pod. Frieza's pod would be cool too. Just like sitting in a little pod and talking shit to people, talking down to everybody.
Frieza's pod is sick. And then there's Boo's pod. There's all kinds of pods. Boo doesn't really have a pod, but they call it a pod, like the little egg he was in when
I forgot about that.
It was called like Boo's pod or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, Gohan goes off a couple times, right? He goes off against, I feel like Nappa. Is it Nappa that he goes off? He kind of gets pissed off, and
I don't remember if he. I can't remember if he gets any licks on Nappa. I know he gets some licks on Vegeta after Goku is like done with the fight. After Goku is like basically crippled.
Yeah.
I know Gohan gets some licks in, and there's a point when like Goku is damn near crippled, and he collects a spirit bomb, and he like passes the spirit bomb to Krillin, and like Krillin passes it to Gohan or something. Okay. But I can't remember if Gohan gets any real licks on that.
I remember Krillin. So I guess that's another iconic moment. One of the first spirit bombs Goku gives to Krillin, and he tells him, "Make your mind as clear as a crystal," and because that's the only way to use it. And I remember trying as a kid. I would do fake spirit bombs, hold my hand up, gather energy. And then I would try to focus on making my mind as clear as a crystal. Like Goku was talking to Krillin through his mind. Somehow he's doing that telepathy thing. And that shit is impossible. Not thinking about anything is impossible. So I would just think about a crystal. I would think about the crystal I saw.
Impossible. You want to know how much of a loser I was. Just what you just said, like, I would, try to do whatever fake spirit bomb.
Yeah.
I remember being a fucking kid. There's this magazine called Beckett Magazine.
Oh, I love Beckett. With the terrible prices?
Yes. But in Beckett Magazine, one of the articles was how to like train like a Super Saiyan, like how to become a Super Saiyan. And it was like a workout routine or whatever on like how to become a super. And it was
they
like
would have got ridiculous. My ass. They would have got my ass.
Oh, they got me. They
would have got my ass.
It was something like 10,000 push-ups or something crazy. Like
they would have got me.
I legitimately like
I would have
in
been
my
buff
head.
As shit
I was
if I
like,
saw that.
Well, this isn't a magazine. So like I'm reading this.
You were like, this has to be real.
Maybe I can become a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, or something. Something's going to happen if I do fucking 10,000. I mean, you'll probably die, but yeah, something's going to happen.
So
that's funny.
I remember legit trying, like this fucking Beckett magazine had me really trying to become a Super Saiyan.
Oh man, so good. I remember Beckett. But another iconic moment in Dragon Ball Z is Goku Kamehameha versus Gatling gun Vegeta. The fucking purple Gallic gun. I don't know, Gatling gun. But yes, Gallic gun. Him doing that against the Kaioken Goku. And then fucking the power struggle, which to this day, that shit still looks amazing. And I remember in one of the Budokai games, they introduced power struggles where your beams collide. Yep. You have to button mash. But seeing that in the anime, another moment that I definitely recorded after they started the show over 1 million times. And I realized, okay, this episode's coming up now. I fucking love that.
Something else that I thought was really cool about that. And I don't know, maybe this is just, I don't know, but I feel like in a lot of just media, I can't really give any examples, but I feel like blue is usually like the good team and red's the bad team.
And I don't know blue, and
I don't know why, but I thought it was cool that Goku was red and that Vegeta. Well, he's not blue, but he was purple.
Yeah. But he shot a blue beam.
I just thought I don't fucking know. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was.
I don't really know what the fuck I'm even saying. It was a cool ass scene.
Goku's Kaioken. I guess Kaioken in general, because he was doing Kaioken times 100 at one point.
Not at that point.
I know. Doing times 5 and times 20 was like a bit like King Kai told him, Goku, you're overdoing it.
Yeah.
The craziest shit though. Let's talk about when he's fighting against Frieza, and somebody says Goku should start using Kaioken. And come to find out, they can't even tell the whole time he's been using Kaioken fight against Frieza. Right? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, I think
somebody was like, "Oh, it's fine. Goku hasn't even tapped into Kaioken yet."
Yeah, and they were the whole time he was.
And I think Vegeta was like, "Actually, Goku has been doing Kaioken this entire time." And then they slow it down for you, and you see flashes of like the red energy, and Frieza would hit the shit out of Goku, and then it would just like go away. And it just humbles the fuck out of you, and you realize Frieza is actually way too much. Frieza was so oppressive.
I was gonna look it up, but I don't want to. It's probably too annoying to look it up right now. But the original Kaioken, when it was originally introduced, and they talk about it, they say that like the effects of that last for one heartbeat is what they say in the manga, I believe. So it's been a really long time because I remember debating this when I used to really get into like nerd debates about who would beat who and how fast Goku is and stuff.
Yeah. So
it's been a long time. So the information's fuzzy in my head, but a lot of the times, like when Goku did what he did against Nappa, I think the assumption is that he did all of that in the span of a heartbeat.
Well, that's wild. But that's also Dragon Ball Z. But that is wild.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, it took how long for the planet to blow up, for Planet Namek to blow up? Like several episodes, right?
Yeah.
So a lot
in
of
universe, it was 5 minutes.
Right. And yeah, it was a supposedly 5 minutes. However, we know that it took us 20 episodes to fucking have the Namek blow up. So
that fight was epic. Remember how that fight started? Goku versus Frieza started with Frieza saying like how do you prefer fighting? And Goku's like, oh, we can fight on the ground or whatever. Like it started with them being like, let's fight on the ground. And Frieza was like, I won't use my hands. Frieza crosses his arms.
Frieza was cocky as shit. Now he was in final form already, right?
He was
when Goku landed.
Form.
When Goku got out of the incubator thing to heal himself, when he finally came to, Frieza was so cocky, and rightfully so, because he had just beat the shit out of Vegeta. I mean, absolutely put that monkey in his place. And that is 100%. Not racist because I am black, but he beat the shit.
Also,
out of
Vegeta is a monkey. Like,
I mean, that's what he called him. But Frieza beat the shit out of Vegeta.
Frieza was about racist. You filthy monkeys.
Frieza, I love the memes of Frieza just like being absolutely like he's absolutely Hitler of the Dragon Ball universe. He does not fuck with Saiyans at all.
Not
and
even
literally has tried to commit genocide. He is Hitler. But
he successfully committed genocide on a bunch of other races.
That's fucked up. He's just absurd. He's just absurd. But I remember Vegeta talking shit on the ground after he had already taken an ass whooping, and Frieza killed him. He just straight up killed him. Death beam.
Yeah, he just pointed at him. He just pointed at him, shot him in his heart.
And is that before or after Goku and him discuss where they're going to fight?
That's, I think,
Vegeta dies, Goku buries him.
But Goku's there, yeah, and Vegeta's like, listen, like, I know you don't care. I know you don't know what's going on, but that man, like, that thing destroyed our home. That thing destroyed our planet that we're from. Vegeta's like talking to Goku and telling him who Frieza is.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you were born on Earth. I know you weren't raised as a Saiyan. He's like, but you are a Saiyan. And he killed all of our people. He destroyed our planet. Damn. And Vegeta's explaining this to Goku. Heavy. And then Frieza's just like, shut up. And he points and kills, and he just shoots Vegeta through the heart.
Frieza was fucking ruthless, man. I didn't even like Vegeta as a kid. Like, I genuinely did not like him as a character, but which is funny because now he's my exact kind of character, the I hate everything. But
yeah,
I jaded, living too much. When you live too long, you become jaded as fuck. I love Vegeta now, but back then I did not like him. I was not on some evil shit like that. Anyway, damn, that's heavy though. That's really heavy.
Yeah. There's some good moments. That's why I get frustrated. Like,
the cool thing to say now is that Dragon Ball Z
has awful, and it has awful writing, and like, it's just not true. Like, sure, it's not fucking Citizen Kane.
It's not Death Note,
but it's not. It's got some sauce in it. Like, I think it's written well, especially up to a point. I think you can make some arguments that, especially once we reach like the end of like the Buu saga, the Buu saga is the weakest arc in terms of just a pure narrative.
I lost a lot of interest for sure during the Buu saga. I can say and it's not just because I got older. It genuinely just didn't feel the same.
But I definitely it definitely drops off in the Buu saga, and there's parts where it gets weaker and stuff, but overall, I think it has a fairly strong, consistent narrative. And
I love all the way up to Cell Saga. I think it's very, very good. I think up to Cell, and also people don't talk about this type of thing enough, but I think Dragon Ball Z is an excellent starter anime. One of my friends, whose name also happens to be Kenny, he has a kid who is his kid is like 6 or 7. And he was like, man, I really want to get him started on anime. Like, he likes cartoons already, obviously, but he's like, I want to get him started on anime. And he was like, which one do you think I should do, Naruto or Dragon Ball Z? And I think he just came to the conclusion it should just be Dragon Ball Z, because that's kind of how we started. and then you kind of go into Naruto after. And so his kid loves Dragon Ball Z now. He's watched so much of it. Pretty much watched like a good. He's all the way up past the Frieza saga and stuff. So he's
this
watched,
happened recently or back in
this is during the pandemic.
Okay.
This was during 2020. When I would call him, I would be like, what, you know, he would be like, my son is actually watching Dragon Ball Z, right? I would hear it in the background. He's watching Dragon Ball Z. I thought that was the coolest thing. They were on Namek and Goku was in Captain Ginyu's body and all that, and then Ginyu was a frog. And just the idea of a kid being glued to the screen that's how I was. I literally would come home from school and I would want to watch Dragon Ball Z. So knowing that like it still has the same effect on children. Dragon Ball Z still has the exact same effect on kids. It doesn't matter how old it is. And granted, I'm pretty sure the kid's watching Kai, but whatever. Like the same thing. And he loves it. I mean, he absolutely loves it. So Dragon Ball Z is a great if you have a child or someone who wants to get into anime, I think it's perfect for that.
Our friend Medina kind of did the same thing with one of his nephews. He got, when he was really little, he got him to Dragon Ball Z. And I remember he watched all the way up to the Cell saga. And Medina used to always like joke about it because Cell terrified him. Like the kid, Medina's nephew was terrified of Cell because he watched like all Dragon Ball Z. And then he gets to the point where imperfect, like first form Cell is like stabbing people in the back and like sucking their life out of them and shit.
Creepy too. I thought he looked fucking creepy. So I can see how that kid would be afraid of that because he looks like an insect, which I don't like insects. And then on top of that, he had that really weird raspy voice in English.
Yeah.
Like the first form of Cell, like, I'm going to do, like, he just had that strange
ass voice. Nasty.
He sounded nasty. He looked nasty. He would suck people literally through his like pointy ass needle of a tail. No kid likes needles. Let's start with that. Okay. No fucking child likes a needle. And then this guy is fucking literally sucking people into there's nothing but their clothes on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, it was nasty. It was nasty as fuck.
So I get that. But yeah, I think it's a great starter anime. And then obviously, it still is good even if you're not a kid. But
there's good moments in it. There's cool writing, there's cool character moments. Like, yes, there's a very large cast. And yes, especially over time, like a lot of them sort of become irrelevant. And then even when you move into Dragon Ball Super, like it gets even worse. But Dragon Ball Super, I wouldn't argue has great writing. Whereas like I do think Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, for a large portion of it, has very consistent and very enjoyable writing.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess to pivot back to our whole epic moments thing real quick, how could we forget about, Gohan and Cell, right?
Gohan and Cell is like, for many people, that's the number one.
That is like one of
many people. If
it's not Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time, it's Gohan turning Super Saiyan, whatever the fuck that was. Yeah, 2. That moment when he stepped on Android 16's head and Gohan lost his shit and started killing those fucking what are they called? Cell Juniors.
Yep.
When he started teleporting around and killing them, and I think he had sensu beans or something. And he was just going around bodying those Cell Juniors who were destroying the Z Fighters. Like they could not deal with them at all. And he was one hitting them.
That scene, by the way, is fucking beautiful in the Japanese version. And maybe in Kai they fixed it. I don't know. But I remember the original English version, something that annoyed me is basically in that scene in the Japanese version, Gohan like is sitting there and he's thinking about all the things his dad told him and all the things 16 told him. And like 16 was talking about how much he appreciated, like 16 was an android, he was a robot, but he came to appreciate life. And Gohan's like thinking about all this stuff, like 16, like loving and appreciating life. And Goku and Piccolo telling Gohan that like he's strong enough and there's things that he needs to do and he's responsible for doing. And like he can pull it off. And Gohan's like dealing with the fact that it's his fault 16's dead. But in the moment, you just see him thinking and his like head's like sitting there still, and you can see like a dove. There's like a dove flying like in the background.
Yeah.
But there's no, like, you don't hear Gohan's thoughts. It's just like completely quiet. It's just like quiet and you just see it. And then he snaps and he turns Super Saiyan 2. But in the Japanese version, in the English version, I'm pretty sure there's like some girl singing or something. There's like some shit added. I don't remember exactly, but there's like some weird soundtrack and you can hear all of Gohan's thoughts. Gohan's like, I did this wrong. And I don't know. I think that the hearing his thought thing
isn't as impactful.
It's not as impactful. The fact that it was just like silent, like it was just Gohan sitting there and you sort of just felt the weight of it. You understood what he was feeling and thinking. And
I do think that the Japanese do a really good job, at least through the medium of their own anime, like through anime, of conveying emotion. Like,
I agree.
Their voice acting is just, to me, far superior to English voice acting. And that's maybe because there aren't many English voice actors. Maybe they're not paid enough. I don't really know what it is, because I always have this argument of people who watch dub. I can't watch dub. I'm sorry. I just can't. Only certain things. I can watch Dragon Ball Z dub because I grew up that way. So it's not that bad. I cannot watch Naruto dub. I cannot watch Bleach dub. I can't watch Demon Slayer dub, Death Note. I can't. They sound awful. But
They're
Japanese,
tough. They're really tough.
The Japanese voice acting is just so good to me, and I fucking love it. I think that they do a brilliant job of conveying emotion, and just some of the direction that they take. And the episodes, like you said, that change that they did in English doesn't have the same weight to it. The original, like, give it to the original one. Let them keep it the way it was. And I don't know. I guess I'm just one of those people who really like source material and like things to stay
Same.
the way the art was originally, like, when it's on the topic of art, because I'm a progressive person in general, but on the topic of art specifically, I don't mind keeping it the way the source material was.
Yeah. In terms of dubs, I in general watch almost every anime I watch in Japanese, but I've grown to watch more like dubs more, especially when if it's something I've already seen, or when I watch it with my younger brother, I watch a dub, or if it's just like I'm laying down, I'm going to be going to sleep.
Yes, I'm not watching subtitles when I'm going to sleep, which is why, and I get, like, I won't even watch anime to go to bed because I know I don't want to hear dub.
Yeah,
and I'm not about to read in the bed. I'm just not doing
not at
that
all.
Personally.
Yeah,
but I get it. But I get that if you really want to watch anime and go to sleep to it, you're definitely not about to read subtitles in the bed. That's just not happening.
Not
I get that. I totally
Although
get that.
I remember at one point, because Hulu didn't, or they still don't have Dragon Ball Z on there, but it's not in English. So at one point I was just really in a Dragon Ball Z mood, actually, just like on this topic. And so I watched Dragon Ball Z to go to sleep just in Japanese. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just leave it on, listen to them in Japanese.
Yeah, like, it is what it is. But Gohan versus Cell is epic as hell. The Kamehameha, the father-son Kamehameha. I love that moment. I love Vegeta's contribution to that moment.
Dude, Vegeta, look, without Vegeta, we wouldn't have won. Okay,
no, it wouldn't have happened.
Because
Everybody
was trying to get Cell, Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, and Cell was just flapping his wings at him. Get the fuck off.
Gohan was about to fold. Gohan was about to fold. He was Nick Foles, and he was going to let Cell overcome his Kamehameha. Yep, he was going to let Cell overcome his Kamehameha.
Remember when everybody loved him?
Yep. The world was about to be in fucking danger, though. And Vegeta came out of nowhere and gave him the second of clarity that he needed for Goku to be like, look, this is your last fucking moment. Like, I gave my life for this moment. You need to fucking tighten up. And Gohan tightened up. Gohan tightened the fuck up and just destroyed the nucleus in his brain, as Cell will point to his head often. And that was the end of him. So good.
I love that meme. You know the meme of the guy that goes like this?
Yeah.
And then, do you ever see the one where it's like they draw over that guy for Perfect Cell?
Yeah, because Perfect Cell literally would always point to his forehead like, unless this is destroyed, because he got killed technically a couple times, and he came back many times.
He got fucked on.
I mean, he suicided himself at one point and against Goku, right? Like, didn't he literally blow himself up?
Gohan kicked Android 18 out of him. Like, Gohan kicked him so hard.
That did happen.
He kicked Android 18 out of him.
Oh,
and it reverted him back to second form Cell. And I
forgot about that.
And then he was like, I don't have a fucking chance. Then he got really big, and he was like, I'm going to self-destruct and like destroy everything. Goku instant transmissions to King Kai's planet. He destroys that. And Cell at the time didn't even realize that he was going to be able to come back from it. He didn't know, like, he legitimately thought he was going to kill himself and kill everybody with him. And then when his body recovered, because it was like he still had like the nucleus intact, and he completely recovered, and then the Saiyan cells in him made him even stronger.
Yep, he came back way stronger,
and he came back and he was like, yeah, I'm the shit.
He came back, and didn't he fuck over Trunks immediately?
Yeah,
like he just fucked on Trunks. He did the Frieza thing.
If I remember correctly, we didn't even know he was back yet. We found out he was back because a fucking laser came out of smoke and killed Trunks. I feel like
it was a mirror of what Frieza did. Because you remember after the Spirit Bomb, Frieza started shooting death beams and he killed Dende. Like, out of nowhere, he just kind of like started firing death beams across the stage.
Fuck.
Cell came back and just was like, Trunks dead. Like, you're fucking gone. I'm piecing you. Did he kill Trunks or did he just hurt him?
He put a hole in his chest.
Yeah, and I know Vegeta probably got really upset.
He put a hole in his chest, but if I remember correctly, I don't think Trunks ended up dying. No.
Yeah, I don't think Trunks ended up dying.
I don't think they had to wish him back.
Yeah, I don't recall Trunks dying.
Yeah, I specifically, like, I don't recall them wishing him back.
Yeah.
So I don't think he died there.
Cell came back on that same time Frieza was on and just started fucking people over and was like, yep, I'm back and I'm stronger. And
I'm stronger this time.
Did Cell at some point during the series learn instant transmission?
He learned it from Goku.
Okay.
If I remember how it goes correctly, he kills himself. Goku instant transmissions to
and Cell
Kai's planet. And then when Cell recovers, he learned instant transmission just from watching Goku do it.
And Goku did a warp Kamehameha on Cell when they did that. They had that little bout, right?
When they had the bout, yep.
That was the first time you see. Is that the first warp Kamehameha?
Yes.
Another iconic moment. It fucks Cell over too. Like he gets fucking
sick.
Blasted.
I love that move in the games, like in Budokai 3 or whatever.
Same. Budokai,
fighting, and like Goku shoots a ki blast at like Cell, let's say, and then Cell gets out of the way, and then Goku disappears, and he's just like in his chest.
That move looks so cool in the Budokai games. The old Budokai games when they were cell shaded. Oh, so fucking good. So good for that. I guess we should talk about that a little bit. You grew up playing Budokai and all that too, right? So I played
Budokai 3. I played all of them. Okay. Actually, for Budokai 1, I remember my dad's friend. What a little pansy. I remember we were at
friend?
Yeah, one of my dad's friends. I don't remember his name, but every now and then we'll have like, a house party and like people will be there and stuff. And so I'm in the basement. This is, I think, New Year's Eve party, right? My stepmom's sister, so my aunt, she would always have a party on Christmas. And so we would all go to her house on Christmas, and New Year's Eve, the whole family would go to our house on New Year's Eve. Okay. So New Year's Eve party, a bunch of people are at the house, right? And I had just gotten Budokai 1 for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Budokai 1 in the basement during the party. And my dad's friend is like sitting on the couch watching me play. And I remember it's the point where I'm fighting Frieza. And like all this shit's happening and Krillin dies. And he was like, ooh, this game is violent. And he was like talking about how like violent the game is. And he's like, I don't think you should be playing this. Like, this game is not, you're too little and blah, blah, blah. And he was just like talking all this shit. And I'm just looking, he was like, I'm going to tell your dad that you shouldn't play this.
Oh my God.
And my dad was actually pretty cool in that respect. Like shit like that didn't get to him. He actually did this thing called talk to your kids. Like he would explain, like, this is super side note, I guess. But I remember my dad bought me an Eminem CD and he was like, I'm buying this CD for you and I'm trusting you. He was like, the things that are said in this aren't real. And I'm a kid. Yeah. He was like, I know you like this. He's like, but this isn't real. And I don't know. He did this thing that I don't think parents do when they always just like blame like the rapper or blame the movie. Like, you just talk to your kid. You explain
tell
to your
them
kid,
this is not real life and you have to.
Anyway, nothing happened. Person. I didn't get the game taken away from me, but I remember my dad's friend being such a pansy and just being like, oh my God, this game is so violent.
Well, judging by that voice, there's some other things I can say about that guy, but we won't go into that right now. Back to Budokai 1. So yeah, Budokai 1, I remember seeing the trailer for it. And I was so fucking hyped because I wanted a legitimate Dragon Ball game. And up until that point, the only Dragon Ball games were in Japanese. You had like, something 22.
Ultimate Battle 22.
Ultimate Battle 22.
And when you unlocked all the characters, it's called Ultimate Battle 22 because there were 22 characters. When you unlocked all the characters, the title screen said Ultimate Battle 27 because there's 27 characters.
Oh, okay. I ordered that game on eBay and it never came. Well, I should say my mom ordered the game for me on eBay and it never came.
Crazy.
So I never got to actually play Ultimate Battle 22 as a kid until I don't even know when I got the ability.
I'm surprised.
When I learned how to emulate things.
I'm surprised you. So for me, at that point in my life, computers weren't real still.
No, when I ordered. Well, okay, so yes, we had eBay and things like that, but computers were not. They were not real. I'm pretty sure Yahoo was the search engine of choice, at least for my household.
Yeah, Google. I know for a fact Google did not exist yet.
Yeah,
but I played Ultimate Battle 22. I don't know how he got it, but a friend of mine, his name was Ralph. He was maybe 3 or 4 years older than me. And he had an older brother. So his older brother had gotten Ultimate Battle 22. However, he got it, maybe eBay. And I used to go over to my friend Ralph's house and play. That's how I played that game.
I wanted the Dragon Ball Z game so fucking bad. When I saw the trailer for Budokai 1, and then back then, this is before they did the cell shaded graphics. So they kind of looked, I don't know how to describe it, but they were like not clay, but 3D figures. They were like these 3D figures, trying to make them look kind of realish in a way. if you will.
Like it looked by real, you mean like anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the cell shaded that it became in Budokai 2 and 3. It wasn't that. It was some kind of other type of art, but it looked really fucking cool to me. I used to play and I used to love the story.
If you look at those cutscenes hold up. Like
they do,
at least from what I remember.
Yeah. Probably if we go back. But whatever. Like back then, they were amazing cutscenes, and you got to play the whole story. So you got to do the whole part where Goku is holding Raditz by the stomach, and you have to move him into this line because the special beam cannon is going through a specific is going straight, and you have to like rotate. You have to rotate your analog stick to move Raditz the way you want him to move, because he's constantly like moving left and right and trying to force his way out of the way. There was stuff like that, and you fight all the versions of Frieza. You play as Vegeta at one point to fight against like Zarbon and shit like that. The game was really fun.
The opening had the Rock the Dragon theme. I remember like the opening of the game was the anime opening.
Yeah. Fight the dragon, Dragon Ball.
That was fucking sick. I remember the alternate outfits in that game. If you played multiplayer or 2-player, the alternate, like you had all the outfits were the normal outfits, but the alternate outfits were on some coke shit. Like Goku's alternate outfit was like a pair of slacks and a jacket.
Oh shit! I don't know if I ever saw that. Or maybe I don't remember.
Like Vegeta and Goku's alternate outfit were like going to work clothes.
Pedestrian clothes.
Yeah. All the alternate outfits were on fucking coke in that game.
That was the first one, and then the second one changed the game, because the second one. So that's where it gets cell shaded. That's where they introduce, I feel like, power clashes where beams can collide and shit like that. And the warp Kamehameha is a thing.
Yep.
It goes all the way up to the
PPKKE.
Yep.
That's the combo for warp Kamehameha.
Yep.
PPKKE.
Yep. Oh, such a good game. I used to spam that shit, by the way, because I am a degenerate. And I do not fret about it at all. I feel like I played Kid Buu from Budokai 2 and 3. Like I feel like once Kid Buu was playable in Budokai games, I just started picking Kid Buu. I loved him. I didn't know anything about tier list. I didn't know anything about, what character is supposed to be good based on frame data and shit like that. All I knew was that when I saw Kid Buu in the show, I fell in love with him then. And so when I got to play him in the game, and he would have that, if you just press square on the PlayStation controller a bunch of times, he would keep attacking. And I thought it was cool that the character had one of the longest strings. If you just button mash square, he would just keep going. He had this part in his combo where he would start windmilling his arms.
Yep.
He would like start windmilling, and he also.
I'm very familiar with Kid Buu's moveset.
Okay, good. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
he was my main in Budokai 3.
Okay, good. So we had the same main. So in Budokai games, there was like the canceling and stuff, and punch, kick, and then you would cancel, and then kick, and then you would cancel, and then you could like. I used to get all into that shit once my friend showed me how to do cancels, and so that became like a big part of my life, is playing Kid Buu and doing all the cancels, which were very similar to Goku. 4-punch, kick.
It's my opinion that Budokai 3 is actually a really good fighting game. And the only reason why, I mean, because of the time it came out or whatever, but I think Budokai 3 is actually a really good fighting game.
I like it.
If it came out now, like I think it's a tournament viable fighting game. Like it has really cool combos. The cancels are really sick. The meter management is really unique. I don't know. That game is just fucking sick. Like I actually
transformations,
really like
the way you use them is really cool.
Yeah, they call us guard breaks. It's one of the reasons why base Goku is so good, is because he has the most transformations. He has Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cancels in that game are like, learning how to do cancels is really fun, and the combos in that game are really cool once you learn how to link them together.
Yeah.
It's a dope game. I actually love the Budokai games. Budokai 2 introduced the fake fusions. Like there was the Tien Yamcha fusion. Well, not just that, but you could have Tien Yamcha. There was like Tiancha.
Okay.
Was in Budokai
ones that
2.
never even happened. You're saying
ones that never happened. Yeah. There was Tiancha and there was Goku.
I remember
Goku and Hercule.
Yeah, Goku. Oh man, so good.
And there was two versions of Goku. There was the one where he was wearing Goku's gi, the orange gi, and it was Goku's body with kind of Hercule's jawline, and he had an afro.
Okay.
And then there was another Goku where it's Hercule's gi, the brown gi.
Yeah.
And he had more of Hercule's body. It was a wider body. And he had like just this ugly fucking face, and he had Goku's hair. It's actually funny as shit. If you look up Budokai 2 fake fusions like Goku, look at the two different versions.
I miss those games. Shit. And then it became Tenkaichi, which
those games are fun if you're just like,
they're fun, they're not competitive to me.
They're fun single player games.
Yes.
Those games multiplayer are not fun.
The split screen is an awful idea for fighting games to me. I cannot stand behind split screen fighting games. That shit just seems super slow to me.
Also, that's the game that ruined anime fighting games, because from there, like, all anime.
Oh God, yeah, they all became that, right?
Yeah, like look at the Ninja Storms. All the
Naruto games became that exactly. Ninja Storm, it went from. So I love the Naruto games that were Clash of Ninja.
Yes, the GameCube ones.
When they were literally on the same plane. So even though it is a 3D fighting game, for the most part, you and the opponent are lined up.
Yep.
Tenkaichi is a 360. You can go in any direction, free run around the city, camping type shit. Very obnoxious style, and the split screen. So it's either horizontal split or vertical split. And then some people didn't know what the correct decision was. They failed the IQ test. So it was just a lot going on.
The IQ test was whether or not you even played the game to begin with. That was the IQ test.
I agree, actually. So that, like, I just did not like them. I used to play against my friends and they would just run. And when I'm losing, I would do the same thing. It's just like, this is not
fun. You could just run too much. And then that's what a lot of anime games became. Like the Ninja Storm games, once again, I think those games are really fucking fun, but I don't really have fun.
The specials are cool.
Yeah. But I don't really have that much fun playing against people. And you know what I mean? Like, but playing the games themselves, like the one I played the most was Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. It goes like all the way up to almost the end of the Great Ninja War.
Yeah.
And that game was fucking sick. And because the Ninja War wasn't done yet, there's a made up ending. And you fight like you fight like God mode Madara. Like Madara becomes
absurd. He did become God in the actual.
That's true. But it's like this is a different God mode Madara. His like
because Ten-Tails Madara is like not okay at all.
But Ninja Storm 3 is dope. You should look up the ending at some point.
I will. Cool. I'm interested now because I skipped. So I played the first Ninja Storm and I skipped. So Ninja Storm 2 is not a thing to me. I don't even know if that even came out. I kind of skipped. And the next thing I knew, Ninja Storm, whatever they are on right now, which has been out for years.
4, I think. I think they're on 4 and it has Boruto and it has DLC.
Yes. So that is the one that is still current. I am on that Ninja Storm and everything in between that didn't happen. And the most current one has like adult stuff. So it has Boruto stuff. Like you said, like Sasuke's old. They have Sasuke the Last and all that shit where he exiled himself. And that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And in that game, again, I have some friends. I have a group of friends that love to play the Ninja Storm games. And I watch. It will take me a while to actually learn how to play it properly. So I never really put the time in. And I feel like I'm not going to really play outside of when I'm hanging around them. So I just kind of...
Yeah. They're fun.
I prefer to watch, and it's nice to watch. But
yeah, they're fun games. The specials are dope. I like when you do a special and their health is low enough to kill them. It shows like a quick anime still.
Yeah, I like that.
That shit's cool.
Tachi does his Tsukuyomi, I think it is, and you see they do a clip and it's like wander your nightmares for the next 72 hours or whatever. Yeah, and also like so in the Tenkaichi games, I think they have something similar where if certain characters fought each other and you did a special, it would change it depending on who was fighting who. Like if Gohan fought Cell, for example, it would do like a crazy ending or special or whatever when you did your special on that specific character. There were
such a long time.
There was also things where if two characters who had a history came into the ring together, they would say special things to each other.
Yeah, that for sure.
Yeah,
that for sure. I love that shit.
Yeah,
the special intros.
Yeah,
they do that. They still do that in Dragon Ball Fighters and. Dragon Ball Fighters has the dramatic finishes. Oh man, I wish there was more of them. The ones they have are dope, but there needs to be more.
Yeah. So I guess we talked a lot about Dragon Ball Z. I guess we should talk a little bit about Dragon Ball Super because that's where it is currently. And
I'm sorry. You know what just clicked in my head? Just before we leave Dragon Ball Z, this is something that I was thinking about earlier when I knew we were doing Dragon Ball Z. I thought about it and I forgot, and it just clicked back. You and me both love card games, right? We played card games a lot.
Yep.
I feel like the Dragon Ball Z card game never did anything.
So
like there was a little bit where it got popular again. Yeah, there was one that came out and then it kind of got canceled and then it got rebooted.
Yeah, so the reboot one happened a couple years ago and it was big. ARG picked it up.
Wait, by a couple years ago, you mean like 10 years ago, right?
No. There was a new Dragon Ball Z card game that happened and I want to say like...
That might be the third one then.
Okay, so around 5 years ago, I'm just going to throw out a number like 5.
Yeah.
Around 5 years ago, Dragon Ball Z card game became a thing again. But I think it's a completely different card game. I don't think it's like the old one at all. And it became extremely competitive.
Oh shit.
ARG was running it. ARG partnered up with Bandai or whoever. I think it was run by Bandai. ARG partnered up with them and was running it and running events. So like, ARG had their own Yu-Gi-Oh events. They also would run Dragon Ball Z tournaments and stuff for the card game. And it was huge. Like it actually became a really big thing and their prize pool was really big. And I know a lot of people from Yu-Gi-Oh started playing it and quitting Yu-Gi-Oh to play in that. So ARGs will concurrently run. They would concurrently run a Yu-Gi-Oh ARG series or whatever. And they would also run the Dragon Ball tournament. People have to decide which one they were going to play. But it became huge and it was big for a while. Shit. It kind of has died out now. I'm pretty sure the Dragon Ball card game is dead again. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not really sure, but I don't hear anyone talking about it anymore. So if you are one of those people who still plays it and it's still going, but it's a really small community, then you can let me know. But as far as I know, the Dragon Ball card game has pretty much come to an end. Everyone has gone back to whatever card game they came from, whether that be Pokemon, Magic, or Yu-Gi-Oh! The three that will never die. Those three don't go anywhere. They will never die. I know people like to get involved with Digimon and Card Fight Vanguard and Buddy Fight and all these other Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, all these fucking card games that come out. And I always say the same thing when people try to get me to play them. I'm like, I will, but I want to see if the card game can last a couple years, and they never do. So
yeah, it's rare that they do.
I don't want to invest a bunch of money into another game, especially a card game. And then,
I don't think I can ever get into a new trading card game seriously. I like the DC, even though I don't really play that much anymore. I like deck building games or games where all the cards, the whole set comes in the box. I do
like that a lot. Yeah, and I think
like I don't have time for fucking looking for ghost rares, man. Like I don't have time for it.
Yeah, with the card market being as expensive as it is now, it is kind of. I guess Yu-Gi-Oh was always kind of hard to. It was always expensive when I think about it. Like,
back in the day, because we're off topic, but I'm going to jump off this real quick.
Yeah,
but
we were talking about the Dragon Ball card game, but yeah, we're talking about card games.
Like messing around with GOAT format, there's people that do like Cyberstein OTK, but Cyberstein OTK, although it existed back in the day, nobody played it because Cyberstein was a prize card. That was like $1,000 card. You couldn't play Cyberstein OTK because the card it basically didn't exist.
Yeah, the only people who could play it are people who had friends in high places, so they knew someone who won a YCS, or I guess at the time it was a Shonen Jump championship. They were rich, and they were willing to put a card in their deck that if it got shuffled the wrong way, it could really, really ruin your entire experience. Yeah. So you really didn't see many people playing a Cyberstein OTK deck unless they had a lot of money or friends in high places. And then it got reprinted as a rare. I remember when that happened. And yeah.
But shortly after that, I think he got banned.
Yep. But yeah, so the Dragon Ball Z card game, I don't think it's really a thing anymore, but I remember it being really, really huge. And
are there any streams of it? Like ARG did it, so I'm guessing there's streams of it.
There's definitely streams of it. And
I'm gonna go check out some archives for sure.
You had to declare what kind of deck you were playing. Like I think that every deck had a deck master, if like something like along those lines. Like
like you had like a character that you were.
Yeah, I think you were a character or something like that. I'm not sure all the logistics, but there were some really powerful cards in the game that I remember watching. So like after I would be done with my ARG tournaments, I would go over to the Dragon Ball side and just like watch and see if I could try to follow it to some degree. But I never got into it seriously because I just assumed that it would die eventually, and it did.
Yeah, that's a legit though. I'm gonna go check out some of those archives. I'm curious how it plays and stuff.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. But yeah, I remember growing up, always playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but always wishing I was playing Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I got some of the cards from 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven to me. I have a fucking history with 7-Eleven and cards, but I used to buy packs when they didn't have any more Yu-Gi-Oh packs. I was just like, I'll just take a pack of Dragon Ball Z.
Same, pretty much.
I would just open the packs, look at the cards, not know what the fuck they did. They would have like little
the numbers on the side.
They would have the numbers on the side.
Yeah.
And I would just kind of stare at it and be like, I don't know what this does. I don't know what this means. But yep.
I wish the Dragon Ball Z card did something growing up, but it didn't.
Well, if it ever comes back again, maybe we can play around with it.
Yeah. We can probably find it on Tabletop Sim. We can mess with it.
True. So yeah, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super now.
I'm with it.
So I actually haven't watched all of Dragon Ball Super. I have two things about Dragon Ball Super that I actually know.
Okay.
The first thing for Dragon Ball Super is the movie, The Resurrection of Frieza, I think it's called.
Yeah, and Battle of the Gods before it.
Okay, so yes, Battle of the Gods, which is the introduction of Beerus, and then the Frieza movie. Okay, so basically all the movies. I've seen the movie. I've seen the Brawly movie, the Frieza movie, and the one with Beerus. And then I've seen the Tournament of Power. I did not see anything with Goku Black. I heard of him, but I don't know anything about Goku Black, really. And I don't know anything else that happens in Super outside of really that. I feel like, honestly, I heard that I wasn't really missing anything with the Goku Black shit. But
yeah, I've seen all of Super twice because I watched it all, and then I got one of my friends that like always like grew up watching Dragon Ball Z and wanted to watch it. I was hanging out with him. I was like, oh, we can watch. He was like, anyway, yeah, I'll watch it with you again. I saw all Super twice.
I really like the movies. They're entertaining. I think they're all really funny. Like Akira Toriyama has a thing for comedy.
The movies are incredible.
They're really funny to me, and I think it's just something to be said about making them entertaining, but also nostalgic. And so you get that from them. My Boma, like Vegeta snapping and losing his shit. The movies are really good, and the animation. So Dragon Ball Z used to have that issue. At the time, it wasn't really an issue, but now looking back on it, like we don't care for it anymore.
Yeah, the animation is not as clean as what you see in some other shit now.
Yeah. Like the animation back then was the repeated animation where you just see them punching and kicking really fast over and over, but it's the same. It's just a repeated frame.
Yeah.
But when you watch like Goku versus Beerus and he goes that Super Saiyan God mode or whatever the fuck that thing was,
they start having it out.
The actual animation, I was like, holy shit, Dragon Ball has come a long way. Like it stepped into the realm of Demon Slayer and all that shit.
The new Broly movie
looks amazing.
Fucking
when
crazy.
Broly starts beating the shit out of Vegeta, when Vegeta's like, remember when Goku stands back, he's like, Vegeta's like, I'll take him.
Yep.
And
Vegeta.
So the cool thing is Vegeta starts all fucking him up. Like he is giving Broly some good work, and then Broly starts to turn up. And when he turns up, Goku. I remember, it's actually Goku who gets really fucking beat up. I remember seeing Goku get literally dragged across the side of mountains and shit, kicked in the stomach, across the field. Like, he beat the shit out of them, and it looked beautiful because they didn't do that repeated animation thing. Yeah. It was all fluidity, just beautiful, beautiful frames, amazing art.
I love the part where they're trying to fuse, and they basically like teleport Broly to Frieza. And Frieza's like, what the fuck? And like Frieza just has to deal with Broly for fucking 10 minutes.
They literally leave this man by himself with this guy who literally they can't beat as they are. And he just starts dogging Frieza's shit. But Frieza killed fucking Broly's dad. And it was like, look, they killed your dad. And I love that. That was so funny in a movie theater because I've gone to the movie to see all of the Dragon Ball Super movies.
Dude, they are legitimately funny. Well written, fun. Like that's the thing with Akira Toriyama is like, he's a really good gag artist. Like he loves little gags, like Superman. Like he loves little gags and stuff, and he does a lot of little funny things. In Dragon Ball Super, the anime overall, like you're not missing much. I enjoyed watching it. Like I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't enjoy watching it. I enjoyed watching it. It was a fun watch. However, it's not the best. There's some serious inconsistencies in it, and there's some letdowns. There is a pretty big lack of stakes, but there's some good stuff. Like there's a throwback episode where Akira Toriyama brings Dr. Slump into the episode and Arale and stuff. And Arale and Dr. Slump, it's a gag character, gag manga. And if you know anything, if you've ever like had those nerd debates, you've heard the term like Toon Force or like gag manga characters or Arale, like in Dr. Slump, she like taps the earth and the whole earth cracks in half. Arale runs to Saturn. She's broken. She's broken ridiculous ass like cartoon character essentially. And so they make a joke about that in Dragon Ball Super because Arale's doing all this shit because she's a gag character and like she's like beating the shit out of Goku. Goku just can't hurt her because like it's funny for her to win. And so it gets to the point where she's about to like fight and beat Beerus. And then Beerus gets really serious. Beerus basically says like he's the god of destruction. Like he essentially says like he can kill gags. He's about to kill Arale if he decides not to or whatever. But they if you ever want to know canonically, Beerus, if you ever get in a nerd argument, a character with Toon Force can't beat Beerus. God of destruction power overrides it.
Well, there you go. that settles that because a lot of people try to use that shit, and serious ass
Beerus don't care about that shit. You can be a comic book character. You can be. It don't matter.
The good old One Punch Man can beat Goku debate. They bring that up a lot. Saitama is a gag character. Like actually, Saitama is not a gag character, but
that said, the Infinity Stone snap probably, that's just fucked up. That's just that's just fucked. Beerus might not. I don't know what Beerus can do for that.
warping reality and shit like that. Yeah. I always would say to people as strong. So obviously Dragon Ball Z characters, we talked about scaling in the beginning of this episode. They are pretty much some of the most powerful anime characters there are, manga characters, whatever you want to say. But then there are certain characters that kind of warp reality. A good example of this is Alaka from Hunter x Hunter. Her power, yeah. Her power would like it doesn't matter. It literally warps.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing that annoys me when people are like, "Oh, but look, my favorite character from this thing would beat Goku." It's like for example, Alaka can beat Goku, sure, but it's like
theoretically
they're not fighting.
Yes,
like when we're talking about like people fighting, like when you talk about the old classic Superman versus Goku, regardless of who you think you win, Superman and Goku are going to fight. They're going to rumble,
and it's not going to be.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like, I wish Goku dies. Okay, he dies. Like that's not a fight. Like that's
But yeah, so there are definitely characters who in certain anime and manga that warp reality. Like would Goku die to the Death Note? Probably. If he knows his real name, I don't see why he wouldn't. It's like this isn't actually a thing of power per se. This is more so like it's
question is, can the Death Note kill things that aren't humans? I don't know.
We don't know. We literally don't know. But
humans don't exist in Death Note. I mean, things that aren't humans other than Shinigami don't exist in Death Note. I meant to say.
Most certainly Shinigami and you can kill Shinigamis, but it's a weird way. But anyway, back to the point. So Dragon Ball Super, the movies are great. They're fantastic. The Tournament of Power, I really enjoyed it, except the ending, of course. I think that's probably how most people feel. It brought a lot of people who grew up on Dragon Ball Z back together. Like we all kind of just stopped.
Tournament of Power is crazy.
Dragon Ball Z ended. A lot of people kind of did like Super isn't as popular as Dragon Ball Z. And then something about the Tournament of Power, maybe because it was trending on Twitter and just was a big topic on Facebook. And
it was huge.
It was huge.
They were doing like those fight posters, like boxing fight posters for Goku and Jiren.
Yeah. So it brought everyone back online. It was like, holy shit. The newest episode of Super was crazy when Goku fought Kefka, whatever. The fusion.
Yep.
Kefla. And you just see Kefla's the clown from Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
when Goku fights Kefla, he does that fucking Ultra Instinct. He glides over
when he Tony Hawks the fucking beam. Goku Tony Hawks that is some of the hottest shit.
And the animation, the colors on that scene are so fucking epic. Like I was a full-on hater of Super, and then that shit started to happen, and I was like, okay, this is insane. I love this.
This shit is sick.
I'm here every week. You got me every week now. I'm here.
When Sundays, that happened, because you're always ready in Dragon Ball to see a beam struggle, right? Yes. We're always ready for that.
There's nothing special about them. There's so many of them. It's like, okay, this is par for the course.
So when Kefla's powering up and she's yelling and destroying shit, and then she shoots the beam, you're just ready for either a beam struggle, whatever. Yeah,
typical beam struggle nonsense.
My man Goku just like, and he fucking
the slide for me.
He has a Kamehameha in his hand and he grinds up this bitch's beam.
And then he does a flip for me.
He does a flip and like puts that shit in her face.
I said Warp Kamehameha is obsolete and you can just slide on a nigga now. Who needs a Warp Kamehameha if you could just slide on niggas? Like,
yo,
that shit was so fucking fire.
Oh my god.
That shit was so fire. That is, I feel like, so out of general Ultra Instinct, because I personally think Ultra Instinct looks amazing. I think it's one of the best fucking things I've ever seen. I think it's one of the best transformation. I think it is Goku's best transformation, in my opinion. It is by far the coolest shit. The gray / silver hair and eyes and eyebrows, just the way he looks, the no talking, the calmness, the fucking cocking. I love it. Outside of Ultra Instinct, that skating on her beam to deliver the Kamehameha, like fucking Amazon next day, was so good to me. Like he overnighted the shit out of that Kamehameha. Like he fucking overnighted a Kamehameha to this bitch's face. I lost it. So good.
I watched that so many times.
Dragon Ball Super has some really cool ass moments.
Another part was hot was when he goes Ultra Instinct and he's walking down into the crater. The Spirit Bomb makes that crater.
Yeah.
He's walking down into the crater towards Jiren. And as he's walking towards Jiren's two homies coming to get Goku.
Beams or some shit at him.
Yeah. First they start shooting and he's just walking and like none of them are hitting them.
It's reminiscent of when he did that against Jace and Berta, right?
Yep. Yeah, and it looked like he was just standing still, and then somebody noticed like the ground moved.
It's the same exact thing with Jason Berta when he was on Namek. He stood there and they were firing beams at him, and Berta was like, "I'm the fastest" and all that. And they did those team attacks, and the whole time Goku was actually moving, but only Vegeta could perceive it, and
that
barely.
Is OD.
Ultra Instinct. Oh my god!
I like when after they're done shooting the beams, though, they come in to try to hit him.
Yep.
And like Goku, he does that thing where like his hands are moving and there's like after images on his hands.
He lifts them up slowly. And you see like multiple hands, like Ashura.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my god.
It looks so fucking sick. And he like spins them and sends them away or whatever.
And then Jiren tells both of them, like, y'all like clowns.
Yeah.
Just stay out of this.
Oh man, the first time he goes Ultra Instinct was so fucking epic. And every time after that, it just gets more and more epic. Like it just keeps getting more fucking epic. The last time he goes Ultra Instinct, when he actually like, I guess, wins the fight, Jiren does some kind of like beam attack. You know, he does one of those beams that it gets real big, then it becomes real small, and he throws it at Goku.
Yeah.
And Goku just like flicks it with 2 fingers.
Yes.
It just like disappears.
Yes.
And this huge explosion happens. And like he just like flicks it away, and he doesn't even acknowledge it. Really, it's nothing. And then, mind you, this is Jiren. This is a guy who's stronger than a guy.
Jiren just stares at you and fucks you up.
Yeah, he can stare at you. He's stronger than a lot of the gods. Apparently, they said
he's stronger than the god of destruction of his universe. Confirmed.
Yes. So just off the back, this guy is insane, and Goku just flicked away with 2 fingers one of his blasts. Then Jiren tries to attack Goku physically, and Goku does one of those like moves where he flickers, and you just see Jiren get fucking hit a bunch of times out of nowhere. Like he just ends up behind Jiren. And he just gets hit a shit ton of times. So good.
Yeah, Super has some sick shit in it. In terms of, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was a fun watch. There's some stuff in it that I enjoyed for sure. The Goku Black arc was actually really cool. Like for a long time was really cool. Like when you watch that arc, like as it's happening, it was really fucking sick. The thing that made the Goku Black arc suck was just the way they ended it was really dumb.
I guess I'll go back and watch it then. If you say that it's actually cool, I'll watch it.
Cause like the way it started off was fucking dope. And there's a part where like very, very early on in the arc where Future Trunks comes back and he like, when he wakes up, he's like knocked out and he like wakes up and he sees Goku and Goku's like, hey, like he says hi to him because like he knows who he is.
Yeah. And
Trunks has like trauma. Like he sees Goku's face and like he no longer sees that face and sees his friend. He's seen Goku
he's
Black.
Scared because it's like, holy shit, this is the guy that has been terrorizing my future or past or whatever the fuck he comes from.
So the Goku Black arc it started off really fucking dope and has some really dope moments in it. It starts to kind of fall apart toward the end. The wheels kind of come off, but it's set up and what it was driving toward initially was really fucking dope.
Yeah, I might go back and watch it one day. I have a list of shit that I need to catch up on.
Same.
But I'll probably go back and watch it one day. I know stuff that happens in like the manga that hasn't actually aired yet, and
for Super.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like say it here or whatever, but like, there's stuff that happens that I'm interested in. But the Tournament of Power was really cool to me. I just don't like the way it ended. I think that's how most people feel. It just ended really shitty because
it sucks because everything. I knew that was going. I think we all knew like Tournament of Power is going to end. Whoever wins and it's going to be our universe that's going to win, and they're just going to say, bring back all the other universes.
Yeah, I should have saw it coming. I guess because Universe 7 is the universe that won, I just didn't care about the other universes really. So the fact that they were gone, I was like, all right, well, that's the end. I'm kind of fucked up. But, I should have said, oh, they're actually going to bring everybody back. Yeah. I really didn't see it coming, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't really think too much into Super because I had already jumped in the middle anyway. If I really cared, I would have started from the beginning, watched it all the way up into the Tournament of Power. But I just kind of started when the Tournament of Power, when people were like, the Tournament of Power is crazy, you got to watch it. I just went back to the beginning of the Tournament of Power and watched that all the way up until I was current. And then I just watched that every week.
To be fair, the first like 50 episodes of Super are just a fucking recap of the movies.
I heard, so I wouldn't do that anyway. But there was a lot of cool shit. Vegeta showing signs of his God of Destruction stuff in the Tournament of Power. That happens, I think, in there at some point.
Oh man.
Then he fights against that one dude who's on Jiren's team with the big mustache, who looks cool.
Yeah, Topo.
And he has God of Destruction shit going on.
I like Topo.
I think at one point Frieza forces some God of Destruction shit on Goku, and it fucked Goku up real bad.
I don't remember. I'm trying to.
I think there was a point in when he went to recruit Frieza, and
Yep.
Doesn't he do some trick shit? He's like, he's like trying to contain it, and he fucking forces it on Goku or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think I do remember that happen. I think like Beerus like Goku borrows some of his power or something to trap Frieza, something like that. I don't remember exactly what happened.
Frieza does some shiesty shit, some Frieza stuff. He does something shiesty, and he's like, "Oh, I can actually use this on Goku," and I think he does, and it fucks him over.
Yeah, and then when Goku and Frieza come back, Goku and Frieza are both fucked up, like they're both of their asses are whipped.
Yeah,
and Goku's like, "Hey guys, Frieza's on our team," and they're like, "What? Like, look at y'all." Yeah. Like y'all rumbled.
Yeah. I love it. And I actually love Frieza's gold form. Can I just say that? Like, I actually
the LA Lakers? The LA Lakers Frieza?
I think Frieza's new form looks cool as shit. I wish that he could stand it longer and all that, but I guess that'll just happen over time, like everything else. But I really do love the gold Frieza form. And
look, man, even Kobe didn't play all 4 rounds. All right.
That's true. I don't know. I just really like the tournament power a lot. I thought it had a lot of epic moments. It had some Gohan moments in it that were really cool. A fusion. Also, like the whole thing with Vegeta. And who's that one kid who was like
Kaba?
Yeah, I like that dynamic, and Vegeta basically training the kid.
Yeah. Did you see the Universe 6 tournament?
No.
There's so basically after the first arc of Dragon Ball, it's the first real arc of Super, but after the recaps is Universe 7 versus Universe 6.
Okay.
And they have a tournament that's like a little tournament arc they have.
Yeah.
And that's when the tournament of power essentially gets set up. Because at the end of that tournament, that's when Goku meets Zeno. And he's like, "Hey, we should do this again sometime." And Zeno's like, "Hey, yeah, that sounds fun." And
God, Goku
that's what
gave the idea to Zeno.
Yeah, it was Goku's idea for the tournament of power.
No.
And then everybody was like mad at Goku. They're like, "You're an idiot." And Goku's
whose idea was it to eliminate these universes as they lose, though?
Well, that was Zeno. That was all.
Okay,
Zeno.
all right. Goku didn't know what the stakes were.
That's I remember there was a thing going around, people saying Goku's an awful character because it's his fault that these universes are being wiped out.
How do I fucking know that God is going to decide?
And it's like Goku just was like, "Hey, I want to fight in a tournament." Like, y'all can't put that on him.
Yeah, he always wanted to fight in the tournament.
Yeah, like, come on now.
Yeah,
but the Universe 6 tournament's a pretty good watch too. Like, there's some cool shit that happens in there. Goku versus that's
the guy that he's an assassin. Like
he's an assassin, and his like ability is called time skip.
Yep.
Goku versus Hit is fucking dope.
I should go back and watch that because I remember seeing Hit against Jiren, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is the battle we were waiting for." And Hit tries to do his technique on Jiren, and it doesn't work.
And Jiren walks through it, dog.
Which I think I was supposed to get that was ridiculous. But to me, because I hadn't seen anything really prior, I was just kind of like, okay, I'm assuming this is absurd. But I don't really know. I didn't really know why.
Yeah. Goku, there's a couple fights in the Universe 6 tournament that are like whatever. But toward the end, it's like one of the last ones is there's Kaba. That's when Kaba and Vegeta meet, and that's like when they get kind of established. And then after that, there's like Vegeta hit, and like stuff happens, and then Goku hit. Yeah. And the Goku hit fight, I remember at the time I was doing I was selling Verizon, and I was in. What? I was. This is
dark times.
Yeah,
you can't just throw out that you were out here selling Verizon.
I was out there selling Verizon at the time.
Oh my God.
I remember I was at the office. I'm at the office, and like my shit, like it didn't actually start yet. Like I wasn't actually on the clock yet. I was just there.
Yeah.
So I was downstairs in like in one of the lobbies, just sitting on the couch, and I was on my phone watching Super, and I had my headphones in, and I'm sitting in this fucking lobby, popping off. Like,
because it was a new episode or whatever.
Yeah, I'm losing my mind on my fucking phone in this. I have a suit on. I have a suit and tie on. Like, I've got a tie on, and I'm losing my mind watching Goku and Hit just fucking go at it. That fight is hot.
I gotta watch that then. Yeah, I'll go back and watch it. So yeah, Super is pretty good. It has some, I mean, for what it is, I think it's good for the action. Apparently the story is kind of whatever, but
it's a fun show. If you're going into it and you're like really, I don't know. I think people have to realize that not everything needs to be the greatest thing ever.
Not
like,
everything
it's
needs
cool
to
just watch it and just have fun and not really
in the lane that the Dragon Ball series is in, which is really, to me, now that I understand Akira Toriyama a bit better as an adult, is more in a realm of entertainment and comedy.
Yeah.
And not as much storytelling.
Yeah, Akira Toriyama really just wants to have fun. Like, he wants to have fun and do cool shit.
That is the feeling of when you look at all the series that he's made, they're all funny and they're all entertaining, and that's kind of the main focus of them, and less about like this crazy character development, right? You're not going to really get crazy character development from Dragon Ball Z characters. You're just not.
That's something that I think a lot of people were surprised when they saw the new movies like Battle of the Gods, how funny they were.
Yeah.
Because like, if you just grow up on just Dragon Ball Z and you don't watch Dragon Ball, like
you might be confused. But I knew Dragon Ball was funny because of you guys, my friends who grew up and they knew all about Dragon Ball. And I've seen episodes here and there. Obviously, I haven't gone through all of Dragon Ball, but I know that Dragon Ball is a more comedic show than
it has its serious
Dragon
moments and has darker tones, but it's got a lot of funny gags in it and just like funny shit. Like,
and I do like the whole Bulma and Goku dynamic when they were younger is funny to me.
Like Goku, for example, a lot of people know this by now because it's talked about on the internet a lot, but it's such a funny setup. Like Goku, he never met another human in his whole life. All he knew was his grandpa, and his grandpa died and he lived by himself. He meets Bulma, and Bulma says she's a girl, and he's like, "Oh, I heard of girls. My grandpa told me I should be nice to girls." And so blah, blah, blah. Things happen. So one day they're sleeping, right? They're sleeping in the same like house because they're traveling together. And Goku goes to lay down on Bulma's crotch, right? And he lays down and he's like, and he gets up and he looks at her and he starts like touching her crotch. And Goku's confused because he's like, why doesn't she have balls? And Goku takes her panties off and he's looking at her. Yeah, Goku takes her panties off and Goku's just confused because Goku thinks everybody has balls. And he apparently,
is this in Dragon Ball?
This is an original Dragon Ball.
Oh,
and
shit.
Apparently, like, he would go to sleep and he would like use his fucking grandpa's balls as a pillow or something.
Oh my god! So he was looking for the balls for cushions.
Yeah,
I'm done.
And then so he takes Bulma's panties off, right? Because he thinks everybody has balls. But now what's great is this sets up a whole thing where Bulma wakes up. She assumes she still has her panties on, and then like an episode later, they meet Master Roshi. All this stuff happens, and they make a deal to get a Dragon Ball from Master Roshi. Master Roshi's a pervert. He's like, I'll give you the Dragon Ball if you show me your belly button. Bulma's like, okay, fine. She goes there to lift her shirt up to show him her belly button, not realizing she doesn't have panties on.
Oh my god.
So instead she just so like this whole thing happens, and it's so like, and it's like one little bit, and each joke set up for another joke in the future.
Was a freak is what I'm getting from all of this.
Oh, he was a freak. But it's so funny, like when you watch it, like when you just watch it unfold. Like, I don't know. It was great.
All right. So for the last topic, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, I just want to talk about Dragon Ball Z doing something else pretty iconic. I think kind of setting this as a standard is redeeming quote unquote evil characters. The concept. I think Dragon Ball Z was one of the first to really pioneer, or I guess Dragon Ball started, but pioneer this whole idea of redemption, because a lot of times in anime, you get these characters who are evil and they're just evil. Like there's no redeeming them.
Yep.
But then some of them are. So Dragon Ball series has, Piccolo, right? Piccolo starts off as a villain. One of the primary villains.
But you can go even before Piccolo.
Go ahead.
You can go all the way. Krillin, although never was a villain, Krillin was introduced as a shady character. Krillin was introduced, and when he's first introduced and he shows up on Master Roshi's island to train with Roshi, he's like kind of seedy and shady and tricky. And like Master Roshi gives them tests, and Krillin is always cheating because like Krillin realizes he can't beat Goku in these tests. And so he starts cheating to beat him. And then he gets caught and stuff happens or whatever. But then Krillin eventually sort of comes around and he embraces
So there's
Goku
redemption for him
teaching.
too.
And so there's even redemption for Krillin, even though he was never a villain. But Yamcha was a villain. Tien was a villain. Tien like blatantly was trying to kill people. Chaozu was a villain because he was with Tien. Like all of Goku's homies started off as his enemies. Like, Piccolo, as you were getting to. So the
Piccolo, then you got Vegeta, of course. Vegeta literally came to fuck over Earth. He was I mean, he killed a ton of people on the way there. Was gonna kill everyone he could, and then you have Boo, who becomes Oob.
Yep.
And there's redemption for him too.
And even Fat Boo becomes good, even without
Fat Boo becomes good when Evil Boo is taken out of him. So like Dragon Ball Z really started that whole, we want to take an evil character and bring them over to the good side. And I really like that in anime in general, seeing someone go from one side to the other, if it's reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't think it's done.
Okay. So I was just about to say Talk no Jutsu. I was about to bring up the Talk no Jutsu.
Yeah,
so
Talk no Jutsu is kind of bullshit.
Here's what's important though. In Dragon Ball Z, there's never a point where Goku Talk no Jutsu somebody.
Yeah.
Goku kicks your ass. Goku fucking suns you. And he suns you again. Yeah. And then you think you're hot shit and you get sunned again. Yeah. And then you're like, I guess I'm on Goku's side now.
Yes. Which is far more believable than somebody telling you, you know what? Your resolve sucks.
And because like in Naruto, there's people that Naruto couldn't have
Pain
beaten.
Is probably the most egregious one for sure. Like Pain becoming, I guess, a good guy in that last moment when he resurrects the Hidden Leaf Village, right? Was just ridiculous to me because you've been living your life. You're way older than Naruto. You've been living your life this whole time with this goal in mind. And you meet one fucking 15, 16-year-old kid who changes your mind after you have killed and done so much. I just don't buy it. It's a bit ridiculous. And obviously Naruto does that a ton, but I don't really consider that the same thing. It's just the big difference there is that Goku suns them. And then people realize like what's cool about it in Goku's case, and it's kind of similar to Luffy in a way, is that they're not interested in having a conversation with you. Goku's not going to sit there and talk about his ideals with you. Yeah. Like he's going to fight because fighting's fun, but he has a very natural, innocent personality, and people see that, and then they reflect on themselves by watching Goku. Right.
They don't need Goku to explain to them anything. They just have self-reflection by like being inspired by him. And Luffy kind of has a similar effect. Luffy never has a fucking an ideal conversation with people, but people watch him and they get inspired by him and end up like
he starts calling you his friend and you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah. And it's just like, it just happens. Whereas Naruto, like the Talk no Jutsu is one of the biggest jokes of like Obito, that community now.
Obito gets fucking talked out of his resolve.
Yeah.
Pain.
Like think about, like you said, with Pain, Obito, he was on some like forever.
Yeah. Since a kid, since Naruto's age, maybe younger than Naruto. Actually,
the fact that his resolve was able to just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people's resolve, it's not really redeeming an evil character. It's kind of like, well, at the last minute, something was said to you and you just decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to switch over to this side. But these characters in Dragon Ball, what I like about it is that they are permanents. Vegeta is a permanent. Piccolo is a permanent.
Yep.
Like these are all permanent. Like these are permanent changes to these characters. You get to see them develop. Whereas, and
they grow, man.
In Naruto, they kind of just Pain died. Like Obito died.
That's the other thing. They get Talk no Jutsu and then like they end. Their storyline ends. Whereas let's use Vegeta and Piccolo. Piccolo ends up going from what he was to fighting Goku to look when the Raditz arc starts. Like Piccolo is still a bad guy. Like they're not together yet. They come together because like in Piccolo's head, he's like, I'm still going to kill Goku one day.
Yeah.
But then the whole Raditz thing happens and they end up fighting on the same team because they just have to. And then that goes from there. Piccolo realizes there's fucking other people that are way stronger than us. And so he starts training Gohan. And then he starts training Gohan as a necessity. And then he spends all that time with him and he ends up like developing a love for him that he didn't expect.
Yep.
And that goes into this whole thing. And then you got Vegeta who, Vegeta.
He's like Sasuke is the reverse of Vegeta. He starts off good, technically, right? He's in a Hidden Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And even though his whole clan has been murdered, he's not an evil character yet. But then he becomes evil. Like Sasuke does become an evil character. He goes with Orochimaru, and at the end of Shippuden, he decides to quote unquote start a revolution. Yeah. And his idea of that is to essentially kill everybody in the Hidden Leaf. Like I want to end the whole village concept. Not even Hidden Leaf. I'm going to end villages in general. Like we're starting over. Everyone needs to go. No more Kages. None of this. He's basically the old system needs to go. It's a very evil, crazy concept to just start wiping out people to force your ideals on the world because you think that you can make it better. So instead of like trying to go about it in any other meaningful way, his solution is violence.
Yep.
And that is intrinsically that is evil. So Sasuke becomes evil, whereas Vegeta starts off as, and I'm doing a finger thing, starts off as evil and becomes good. Sasuke starts off as good, becomes evil. And then obviously as an adult, Sasuke is now good again. He's not wavering in that. He's officially on Naruto's side. He respects Naruto. He respects the village. He protects the village. He does everything he has to. But
Vegeta now, it's cool seeing how he acts with his children, and like when Bulma was pregnant and Super. It was actually crazy because Vegeta always trains. There's a part where Bulma's pregnant and it's close to her having the baby, and Goku's like, "Hey, Vegeta, come and train with me on Beerus's planet." And Vegeta's like, "Bulma's gonna have the baby soon." Goku's like, "Okay." Vegeta's like, "Well, like I can't leave her." And Goku's like, well, Goku's like, "I wasn't even alive when Goten was born." Like,
oh my god, this guy. I like that he acknowledges it, though. That's kind of funny. That's actually kind of funny. He's just like, "Yep, the whole pregnancy thing, that ain't got nothing to do with us. that just doesn't have anything to do with me."
And he was like, I don't get it. Like,
this is par for the course. This is literally par for the course.
So
fuck you mean we can't go and do things.
So it's cool. It's cool that the characters eventually change, and it's a lot of times it's self-growth. And I bit my goddamn tongue again. I've been biting my tongue a lot lately. I'm just brain dead. But anyway, yeah, I think it's cool that there's self-reflection and they grow on their own without having to have somebody preach to them.
Yeah. I like the redeeming quality and that's consistent throughout Dragon Ball, redeeming people. I think it teaches kids a lesson too. Somebody can be bad, but they're not. People aren't all bad. They can. Some people can actually be redeemed, and I think it's important for kids to learn those kind of lessons instead of just discarding people or getting rid of people. We live in an era of cancel culture, and I'm not going to get too deep, but you know how it is. Right now, we live in an era where if you do something wrong, people want to discard you and basically say there's no hope for you.
There's got to be a time limit, man. If somebody did something wrong 15 years ago, you got to I don't know. You got to give them some.
I think if they did something wrong yesterday, I still think that a conversation needs to be had. You got to also weigh the offense. Again, we always like to use this extreme, and because this one is, I'm not wavering on this. R. Kelly, right? There's no redemption for him. There's no redemption. There's no redemption for someone who does something like that. But then, for example, right now.
But not only that, he had a chance back in the 90s when he got away with it the first time. So many years later, like he's getting in trouble again. Like he still had fucking kids in his basement.
Yes.
So
you got him, but then
he had his chance at redemption.
You have people being canceled in today's time for stuff that is just kind of like, okay, yeah, this person said something really shitty, and they might have even doubled down on it, which makes them an idiot. But they double down on it. But there's nothing that I feel like they can't come back from. Like you can come back from saying certain things. I feel like if you're willing to actually put in the work and show that you've changed. I don't think that you can just completely say a person should be forever discarded for what they said if they're willing and open to new ideas and new concepts. Some people are just not educated. It's just
true.
It is what it is. So
also, even if they are educated, just I don't know, like life change, like different things happen day to day. Yeah. Like you never know what's going to change. Like at no point did I realize, like you don't realize when you're getting smarter, right? Like me now, when I think back to some things I did when I was 22, I was like, man, I was an idiot. And when I was 22, I thought I was smart.
Same.
Like I was like, that guy is an idiot.
Yeah.
So I agree.
We all make mistakes, and redemption is a big thing. And I love that Dragon Ball Z, to bring it all back, has the idea of redemption. I think it's a really important thing for kids to see and understand. So I just wanted to say that before we end this episode 7 of the IMNerd Podcast. If you guys have anything that you want us to read on the podcast aloud, please send it to imnerdpodcast@gmail.com and we will read it on the show. Any other closing thoughts, or are we good?
No, I mean, I think we're good.
All right.
Dragon Ball Z covered a lot of it.
Yeah, we talked.
There's always more to talk about.
This is over 2 hours. We are 2 hours and 10 minutes in. So, all right. Well, as always, so long, Gabe Bowser.
So long, Gabe Bowser.